you guys give me if I kill that bird?
Barbara, that's a bald eagle.
Get away, Baldy! Yeah!
Oh, well. Good evening, and good evening. This is The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GubsRadio.com. Tonight we are live on YouTube, live on the Facebook, and of course we'll be live on Instagram in just a little bit. We have lots of guests in the studio. We have guests via remote. We're going to get to them in just a moment. Before we start that, we got both Pete and Steve to do reads tonight, which means less for me to read tonight. We're going to start off with the one and only Rosie's Draft Solutions. Steven, take it away.
All right. Rosie's Draft Solutions is a Long Island family-owned business that provides professional draft beer system services, line cleanings and maintenance, draft beer line system installs, event dispensing solutions, and more. They are passionate about craft beer and making sure it has the same quality as when it left the brewery, and that is done only by making sure those draft system lines are perfectly clean. Rosie services bars, restaurants, halls, events, and all other beverage establishments, including home kegerator installs across Long Island and Westchester. You can reach Rosie's at, if I could get rid of that, there we go. You can reach Rosie's Draft Solutions at rosiesdraftsolutions@gmail.com or call them at 631-219-2075, Monday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Mention the Wort, get a little discount, and maybe slap on the tuchus.
Nice. Call Nick, tell him the Wort sent you with Mike, Pete, and Steve. And check out Nick going all over Long Island. Yeah. You see the Rosie's Draft Solution van pulling up in front of that bar or that brewery. You know those draft lines are going to be clean as shit. Peter.
Beer maker. Your all-grain at-home countertop brewing system. Brew your favorite beer yourself. Why not? If you got a smartphone and 30 minutes, can brew up about a gallon of your own beer. Kolsch's, IPAs, stouts. They had stouts a couple months ago.
Eight stouts.
Different stouts.
Yeah.
Mexican lagers,
cool.
Kolsch, wit beers, all sorts of stuff. Beer maker, your
all sorts of stuff. That's a good one.
all great at-home countertop brewing system. You can also make your own recipe if you want to try your hand at that. You can mill your own grains and use your own steam hops to create your own recipe.
Man, why not?
And use promo code The Wort for a little discount off the machine. And exciting news, they're testing new valves. How exciting is that? New valves coming soon from the beer maker.
There's nothing better. It makes my day than a brand new valve testing.
A new valve, right?
New valve testing
so
is
exciting.
awesome.
So exciting.
So go over to Beer Maker or go to our Instagram, and in our profile or in our bio, there's a Linktree little link there, and you can go ahead and go over to our Beer Maker link and type in the Wort
Beer Maker
for your discount today. We're also sponsored today by the one and only Brew Bag. Brew Bag for your beer pong cornhole. Get your brew bag out in the nice warm weather. Maybe not so much today up here in New York, but yeah, very soon we're going to have that nice weather. You're going to get out there, have a beer in your hand, throw some bags around, go to brewbag.com, or again, go to our Instagram, check out our bio or Linktree, right to our own private discounted page. Go to brewbag.com for yours. We're also sponsored today by VintageBeerShirtClub.com. VintageBeerShirtClub.com for your vintage beer shirt monthly subscription. Type in the Wort and get your percentage off of your monthly order. Cool t-shirts, colors, old school beer logos, fun to have and play around with. So go to VintageBeerShirtClub.com. Also Physics for your at-home tap dispensary for your 12-ounce, 16-ounce, 750 milliliter. You could probably go up to a crowler on a 32. And you do all sorts of stuff. So you get beer right out of the spout, right there. Go to physics.com, 20% off your order using our promo code THEWORT. And quick shout-outs to our friends over at Hopscotch. Hopscotch Bash, coming at you. Got a big live show coming up May 15th in Patchogue, the Burgerology beer extravaganza, and Hopscotch is on the board.
Yes,
which is
signed on.
That's I don't know what they're going to be serving. They don't brew beer, but
pretzels, grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Bro,
I said,
if they bring those goddamn grilled cheeses again,
bastards. The buffalo chicken one that Ryan brought in, it got me. It got me right here. Touched my heart.
So good.
Good.
And the fried ravioli one.
That was. Nice. You know what it is? I had pasta that night, so I didn't get to it. So I was more in the mood for the buffalo chicken. I feel like I'm always in the mood for buffalo chicken.
It was delicious.
So yeah, Hopscotch and what else is going on? Well, we got some AC Beer Fest coming up June 4th and 5th. We'll be down there. Lots of stuff happening, but we have lots of stuff happening here tonight. In the studio, we have the Lady Brewsters. We have, let me just pop you up there. There's Sheila. There's Sarah. And over here to Steven's left is Michelle. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi, how's it going, guys?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'm going to try to get some level live.
For the third time?
Good evening.
Yeah. It's our yearly time with our friends, the Lady Brewsters.
That's right.
And on remote, we have Justin and Billy from 7Locks down in Rockland. Is it Rockland? No, Rockville. Rockville, Maryland.
Oh,
Yep.
Are you guys there? Sorry, I just didn't make it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, I might check.
well, you told them to be quiet, and they were doing a great job. They were doing a fucking excellent
It
job.
was an excellent job. I had him on before, and I had to silence him for a moment because we were having technical difficulties to start the show, and we're getting into the point where I was like, all right, cool, get him in. And then I was like, are they there? Did I actually put them over? We've had that problem before. Where we've had the Zoom
Are
person.
we recording?
We're recording and we're
Okay.
streaming. It's right there. See? There they are.
Checking.
Cheers,
checking.
gentlemen. How are you? We're going to kick it off with you
Doing well.
guys since the ladies are our local faves here, and we're going to get over to them in just a few moments. First of all, let me tell you how I stumbled onto you. Besides, the social media and all that other good stuff, my wife was down for a dance competition for my daughter. One of the only reasons now I still like dance competitions is because we get to travel the country and go all over. And of course, my only reason to travel is to find new breweries. I know you guys commented about Ouzelfinch on the thing. That's one we stumbled upon, just randomly driving around, and all of a sudden I'm like, is that a brewery in the middle of like a state park? And they're like, yep. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And, we just try to expand our horizons here being in New York. I got some great feedback from my wife who traveled to the brewery, had a great time, had her pick up a few
Glad to hear
things.
it. I was the one who took care of her that day.
Oh, nice. There you go. And
Yes.
her response and her ratings were very, very good. Loved everything that she had. And I said, let's get them on. I have some. She brought me some beer back. I think that's our hardest thing with people in remote is having the beer here because it's just easier to talk about. We know we're not a rating-based show, but we are definitely like to taste and hang out and relax. So let's go back to a little bit of history of the brewery. Tell us how this all started. Tell us, the plight of you guys. And I know John and I were communicating, so give us a rundown of your personnel and who's going on.
Yeah, so we're about 6 years old. We just had our 6-year anniversary last fall, I guess. Last November.
Yeah, last November.
Yeah, older than I
started
thought.
Yeah. Yep. Our owners started up the place in 2015. Two gentlemen named Jim and Keith. They'd been friends for a long time, and they had a passion for beer, and they decided to open a brewery together, and they wanted to pay a lot of homage to the whole Maryland scene. So a lot of the beers here are named after local spots in the sort of Maryland area, a lot in the Montgomery County area. So, yeah, been going strong for about 6 years here, and it's
Just been making beer ever since.
Pretty much.
Now, you guys, did you guys start as homebrewers prior to this time?
yeah. I mean, like I had done some home brewing and whatnot. I sort of found myself in this mix because I realized that I couldn't work corporate anymore, and I love beer. I've loved beer for a long time. I'd been doing home brewing. And
I feel like that's a
when
common answer. Like I was in the corporate world, I was doing something I didn't really like, and then all of a sudden, boom, bam, boom, I'm brewing, home brewing, and all of a sudden, I got an establishment, brick and mortar, ready to go.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. Like, I mean, I couldn't look at another goddamn spreadsheet. So I'd been coming here for years as a patron for a long time. My little girl has pretty much grown up in this place, which I don't know what that says about me as a parent, but she's
No,
very
fantastic
happy and
parenting.
well-adjusted.
You're doing great.
Yeah, I brought both of my kids to a brewery today, so don't worry about it.
And so, yeah, when I was looking for something different, a change of pace, and my wife actually was the one who was like, 7Locks is hiring. She had seen it on social media. And so I decided to reach out, and I've sort of been here ever since, and started out as a part-time bartender, and now I'm working production with this guy. So
Nice.
Yeah, I had a bit of a longer route. I was actually a sports broadcaster for a while, and if you can believe it or not, there's actually an industry that pays less than being a brewer.
Yes, there is. By the way, hence the reason why I'm here behind this mic for fun and not for pay, because there is zero pay in this particular format.
So I, like Billy, I had enough. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, about 2 hours south of here, and I left the sports world and I said, well, shit, got to pay bills somehow. So I started actually at a local distillery, just being a cellarman, and worked my way up to assistant distiller. It was a small mom and pop place, so they kind of urged me to find other places to work to expand my horizons. Did a stop in Virginia Beach as a cider maker, actually right across the water from Ouzelfinch. Now you mention it, it's kind of funny.
Oh, there you go.
Have been a brewer ever since for the last 2.5 years. So I've got kind of an eclectic background, but it helps with barrel aging and some other fun side projects that we're working on up here now.
Yeah,
you're an expert in all things boozy, so that's
There you
I'm
go.
trying. The only thing I haven't done is winemaking, and I'm not going to lie, I don't really want to do that.
Can't really blame you on that one. You guys, so how did the establishment come to be? How did we choose Maryland? I know you guys obviously from there, but Justin, you sound like you've been all over the place. Billy's been all over the place. Where? I mean, obviously this was pre-existing before both you guys came there. How did they end up settling on their location and where it is today?
So a lot of the location that they chose was they wanted to be in an area that had no breweries. So actually, we were the first place to have a tap room in Montgomery County, Maryland, due to some really strict beer laws that were in the state for a while that actually weren't repealed until Julie from Denison's Brewery right up the road had a lot to do with the legal side of everything. But they chose this location because they thought it would be centered. There's a lot of people to and from DC, the capital, and Frederick, and even up to Pennsylvania. So a lot of foot traffic, a lot of driving traffic. Just a nice central location, really.
Now, tell us a little bit about Maryland, because we've become more familiar with New Jersey over the last few years, but we haven't. We talked to the guys over to Ouzelfinch about Virginia stuff. Give us a little breakdown on how the craft beer laws are compared to other states around you. What are the complaints and what are the benefits?
Ooh, I think a big one would be the farm breweries that we talked about at the Brewers Association.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. We were at the Maryland Craft Beer Awards last December, where we took 2 awards. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Nice.
And one of the big talking points over the course of that was just the difficulties that farm breweries are running into with people trying to sort of change the laws and actually shut them down or force them to have been producing their own materials for long periods of time before they could actually open a tap room. Just all sorts of weird laws that they're trying to use to sort of affect that. So
Really?
I think that's a difficulty that people are running into in certain counties in the Maryland area.
And what awards? What beers won awards there? Well, before we move on,
we won bronze for our West Coast Devil's Alley IPA, and we won silver for our Billy Goat Session Trail Pale Ale. It's a mouthful, but yeah.
I was going to say that.
First
Congrats.
2 awards of my career, and Billy, and actually John just joined us. So
that's awesome.
he'll be
Congrats.
in a sec. There he is.
There he is. What's up, John?
good evening.
How you doing, John?
Hey guys, how's it
Hello.
going?
John, thanks a lot. Would you have work tonight?
Yeah, I did.
What do you do? Are you doing something outside of the brewery? I missed that. What did you say? What do you say, John? Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said I'm doing a triple today.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, he was working production keg cleaning earlier. Then he went to a second job, and now he's back here.
Keep him
It's
busy.
the way it goes for all of us.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a side hustle, right?
That's it. Yeah.
So, what is the farm brewery license down in Maryland? Here, I imagine it means we have a farm brewery license in New York, but I imagine it means something different down in Maryland.
It's very, very strict. So kind of like what Billy was saying earlier, not only do the laws make it very difficult, but you have to have been a farm for a specific amount of time that has a certain amount of output, whether it be grain or livestock. And then from there, you have to apply for essentially a permit to apply for a license for a brewery.
Wow.
And I think it also, much like everywhere in Maryland, it differs very drastically county to county.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like here in Montgomery County, we can't sell beer in grocery stores. We can't, they have to go through.
Just out of the tap room.
It's
Yeah,
patents,
tap
right? You got to go to
room,
the
Wow.
like, specifically beer shops. It's frustrating.
And Jersey
but,
was like that
but
for a while.
It was. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
I mean,
they fixed
You
it.
can go
So
right next door into like other neighboring counties, and it's completely different things. So
Weird.
every county
Wow.
has its own things.
What is Frederick's Frederick, Maryland? Is that near where you? Is it in that county?
So Frederick's in its own county, but it's like 20, 30 minutes up the road.
Yeah, I went to school at Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg.
Okay, I got
And I remember something close to that back in the early 2000s where you had to, obviously there were the blue laws. We weren't selling on Sunday. That was a big deal. I remember having to stock up before a Sunday rolled around there. And I remember different things being very, very strange, just strange things that I don't quite recall the details. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a different one. We have up here for the farm brewery, we have a license.
Much more of an incentive.
Yeah, they market it as an incentive as opposed to like a restriction.
Yeah, there's still a lot of Puritan-based laws down here once you get below
What a
the Mason-Dixon
surprise.
line.
That's also a thing.
So, like these farms, are they obligated basically to they're producing their own grain or they're producing their own material to then brew with down the road? Is that sort of the
Not
gist?
entirely sure.
So from what the only understanding that I really have of it is that they have to grow a certain percentage of what goes in their beers.
Yeah, it's kind of like ours.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Well, yeah.
It has to come from New York, but it doesn't have to,
You don't have to make it. You don't have to produce it.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I will say that, like,
You have a green
having
thumb, do you,
the
Sheila?
small
No, I
town,
don't.
those farm breweries are pretty great for families and whatnot. We tend to make a lot of trips out to the farm breweries on weekends just because it's good beer and lots of space for the kids to run around and see animals and climb on tires and be crazy. So, I mean, it's definitely nice. I'm glad that they're nearby. I just feel like they go through a lot more struggles than a lot of other places.
Now, do the other laws, how restrictive are they for you personally in Montgomery?
They're pretty strict in Montgomery. So we do have the right to self-distribute, but if you've ever been to a state that has state-controlled liquor, it's essentially the same laws for beer here in the county in DC. So it's kind of constricting in a way that the government's always got to get its cut and get its hand on it. But,
Got to get a taste, especially when you're
yeah,
right around the
gotta get a
outside,
taste.
right around the outskirts of DC too. I mean, you guys are like what 10 minutes away from the border there.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
And the thing is like the second you cross the border, you'll find our stuff in grocery stores. I mean, our outbound sales team pushes tons of our beer through the Safeways and the Giants and Trader Joe's and all those places. But like you have to cross that DC border, and then it's a heck of a lot easier to find the stuff.
It's so
We live in a
strange.
weird fucking country.
Yeah,
We really do.
Yes.
strange. I mean, in general, we have stupid things here where you go right into Connecticut
yeah.
and you go over the border to Pennsylvania or something like that.
You can't sell wine and beer in the same place. Or
Right,
hard-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so odd. And then I went to school in Wisconsin where you can buy Jack Daniels at Target. Like,
Right.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn, I like
Let's
that.
go.
Curbside. Don't even
Might
have
make
to get
Target
out.
runs more fun, I guess.
Start the
Where was
DWIs
that
before you even
again?
start.
oh, I mean, they'll give you to-go cups and everything. Wisconsin's a whole nother beast.
Cheese,
fantastic.
Jack
Yeah, it's
Daniels.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, get a crudité platter,
Hell yeah.
prepackaged crudité and Jack.
One-stop shopping.
Man, you could buy your pack of underwear and get a buzz on at the same time.
Soil it that night.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my background is actually New York, New Jersey, and so
Really?
like I'm excited. Yeah, I lived in Brooklyn for about 15 years. Well, a good portion of it. I also lived a couple years in Newark, New Jersey, which was its own experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it was.
So we've heard.
But when I was in Brooklyn, like I think about the things that I miss most about New York, and aside from the obvious like pizza and bagels, because you cannot find a good pizza or bagel to save your fucking life down here. The ability to go to a bodega at 1 a.m. in your pajamas, like 1 block away, and be able to buy a 6-pack of whatever you want. I miss that ease of buying beer back in the day.
The vicinity of very quick service anytime you want. City that never
yeah.
sleeps, never does
Take
really
that for
sleep.
Granted. I never went in my pajamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Maryland.
That's
Well, now you know you
best.
can.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
When you going to Brooklyn? I found the Maryland experience when I was down there to be, let's say relatively positive. And I think the state itself has grown in its popularity for craft beer. What have you noticed over these last 3 or 4 years you guys have been there about the state of beer in Maryland?
Good. It's gotten better.
It's
like
getting-
slowly but surely thing. Interesting developments happened during COVID where they allowed us to ship within the state. They allowed us to do direct to customer deliveries. So it was the first time that I had really seen for small businesses, especially alcohol related businesses, the state and the county actually trying to help us survive and succeed throughout the pandemic shutdown.
Which leads me to my next question. Like, how did you guys get through that time? Because obviously 6 years, you've seen some shit. So
canning line.
The canning line.
There's a lot of people here that were like hand crowlering and 16-ounce can by 16-ounce can. Were the supplies good? Was everything fine in regards to the liquid?
The liquid was fine.
The cans themselves were scarce at a certain point.
If you recall the ship that got stuck in the canal, about 70,000 of our cans were on that ship.
And there's a sister ship of that is now stuck off Baltimore, isn't it? By you guys?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
The Evergreen line, or I forget what the
someone get the rowboat. Let's go.
What the name of this one is, but it's been stuck there for fucking weeks.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for us, we have switched our can provider so that they actually are in the port of Baltimore now, but they've had a slow stockpile, so we're pulling from there now.
That makes sense.
The canning really saved our asses. It came right in the middle of 2020, same time I started here, and it's been just great to be able to do that three, 4 times a week to get the cans out the door, as opposed to having it jobbed in as they did prior.
Yeah.
He's not going to say it, so I'm going to say it. If we didn't have John here, we would not have a working canning line. He is a fucking magician with that thing. It goes wrong all the time. He can touch it for 5 seconds and it works again. It's insane.
What did you guys end up getting? You using a Wild Goose? What's the canning line lineup?
Yeah, ours is from Alpha, from Nebraska.
Alpha. Okay.
Alpha. Okay. Yeah.
By the way, the name of that boat is the Ever Forward.
Finicky, yeah.
Apparently not.
And apparently, very ironic.
Ever stopped. They're renaming it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fresh
We've
christen.
renamed it multiple
Rechristening
times.
it. It'll get there when it gets there.
Is it ever going? That's what it should be.
I doubt there's a combination of curse words we have not named it.
So let's talk a little bit about the system you guys have behind you. We can see that peeking over John's right shoulder. Nice. Let's break down the brew house a little bit, and if you have some moments to kind of walk around, let's show everybody what we got.
Yeah, I'll carry the computer.
Whee!
See.
Oh, you
Let
got
us
a
know if I'm
laptop.
walking.
Nice. All right.
No, it's
Yeah,
a
we
whole
got a
PC. He's got to
laptop.
carry his screen and the fucking
It's going
The
to lug
tower.
around. the
get
giant
the tower.
First of all, it's an MSI.
Sponsored by MSI.
Hey.
Welcome MTV Cribs. Come this way.
That's a good one.
So we actually, it's further back here, but we have a 15-barrel brew house, 15-barrel mash tun, 15-barrel brew kettle, where we do our kettle sours. We have 2 45-barrel fermenters right here on the end, 2 40-barrel fermenters a little bit further up the alleyway there. We have 4 15-barrel fermenters there on the back wall, which are the actual original ones from when the brewery opened.
Now, just an FYI, we tend to lose signals back here the further back we get. So if we lose you, we'll run the computer back to the front.
Nah, that's fine. Yeah. If it freezes, we'll just jump you back in.
We have 1 45-barrel bright tank, and then we have 1 15-barrel bright tank through there in the middle. And
So
then,
45s
you
and
can
15s,
see our
yeah.
brew
Easy
right
brew deck.
there. And then
So-
here is what are we calling the canning line this week?
Oh, I'm not going to say that out loud.
This isn't a family show. Feel free.
It's more so who we name it after, not what we call
I was gonna put the lights for us for a sec, but
it. All right.
we're actually a very small location located here in Rockville, so everything's pretty much on top of one another back there. So it gets a little clustered when we're spreading out for the day.
Yeah.
Doesn't look or feel like it. Like being back there doesn't seem all that crowded. I'm sure once you get all the spaghetti out and all the water's moving and you're trying to clean up, it probably gets a little rough.
It can get a little tight back there.
Yeah, and if you look back here in the alleyway, our owners thought it would be fun so that you could actually walk through the brewery. So we have to scramble to be done by 4 o'clock every day.
Yep.
So, when you got brew hoses and chemicals and God knows what else all over the floor, it definitely makes for a mad dash at the end of the day.
Or we could just caustic black blast the guests. That also works.
Yeah, that's it. 220-degree water, be like a slip and slide. Melt my skin, slip and slide time.
Oh yeah, well, that's our hot water line, the Dragon.
Then this is our tap room bar right here. All of our beers on tap.
Nice.
Where we have our cans that we sell in the brew house, and our mug club where we have a.
Wow, you got a good show in there. There's a lot of members.
Oh yeah, it sells out usually within about a week.
Oh, cool.
Every year we reopen it around September, and it's gone almost instantly. And then people spend the rest of the year asking when we're going to reopen it.
Yeah. You obviously with that mug club, you have a good local following. That's for people that are coming in once a week, twice a week, something like that, every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good showing outpour from the community.
Yeah. They people really, really embrace the mug club idea, and it ends up being a lot of fun because they get to look super cool when they're here, drinking out of their fancy glasses and whatnot.
It was it's your. Do you have your mic on? Your
I
speaker
do.
on? No, not your mic, but your speaker is
Oh,
on. I'm wondering. I was hearing it
Me
in
too.
delay, and
I
I'm
was
going.
wondering it. Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's all right. So that's why I did the mics. I did something in the computer before. I'm like, is it feeding back from? Sorry, guys. Tech talk with Mike. I thought it was feeding back from the
messing
YouTube
shit up
channel,
over here.
and then I was like, no, it can't be the YouTube. And then I muted everyone's mics. I'm like, it's somebody's mic. And then I saw you with the phone, and I know you're on there, but I'm like, you're seeing it live, which is nicer, right?
Yes, it is nicer.
Because we're in the delay. Just to give you guys again a quick tour of what is going on here in the studio, as you give us a tour of what's going on in the brew house. This is the best shot to show it. We have a TV on the left-hand side there of that, and we're watching you in a delay because I can't mirror the TV perfectly without, possibly hurting the stream. So anyway, the tech is that Sheila on the couch over there had her phone out. There she is. And she was watching the
Shame.
the Instagram feed. That's not why I'm saying it. But we are, and the reason why I'm even bringing this all up is because we are on Instagram Live right now. A bunch of people are checking in, saying what's up. Beer Swipers are in there. Butch 618, Phineas, Burgerology in Huntington. Got Jay Clancy, Wild Rose, and of course Lady Brewsters right here in the studio. And as people are watching, they're seeing it in real time. And so Sheila was watching the Instagram feed as opposed to the delay on the television to get the full Brewhouse tour.
Yes.
Well done. And if you are watching on Instagram and we do get cut off or you get cut off, you can always check us out on YouTube and Facebook. We are also there. It's a slight delay, but if you're just listening to that, you won't even know the difference. It's like Back to the Future. And also, by the way, gentlemen, I also want to call this out. If anyone wants to call in, 516-465-3990. It's at the bottom of the screen there. If you want to ask any questions to John, Justin, or Billy, feel free to give it a little ring-a-ding-ding, and we will put you right on. So, gentlemen, talk a little bit about what you have as for a lineup here, because I see the tap list there behind you. You guys have all sorts of beers coming in and out there. Give us a little rundown of kind of what's going on that tap list, so we get the ethos of what you guys are looking for at the brewery.
So we got a little bit of everything. We have our 4 core beers, which are Surrender Rye IPA, which formerly known as Surrender Dorothy. We can get into that fun story later, our battle with Ted Turner on that one.
I was thinking more of the song. Surrender.
We can briefly talk about it. They're not going to listen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you get a
Well,
cease
it's
and
not you
desist?
guys. They don't have. Yeah, they don't want to.
They're not cool enough to watch this.
We got Devil's Alley, our West Coast IPA, which we were kind of talking about earlier with the bronze medal that we won at the Maryland Craft Beer Cup. We also, for right now, for the spring, we have our Paint Branch Pilsner, which we actually did a local collaboration with a restaurant here called Hello Betty, that they made that their core Pilsner on tap.
Nice.
Cool.
So that
You know
was,
what?
that was a lot of
I
fun.
feel
We
like
actually
that's
went
a
and
common
played
thread,
past
right? I
dinner.
mean, a lot of the restaurants want Pilsners on tap. It's it's an easy, like South Shore did one with Havati Kitchen or whatever. It was the same thing, right? It was
Well,
a
now
Haviland?
also
Haviland, sorry.
I know Garvey's just did one with Elsie's Wing House.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
And it's a Pilsner?
I'm not sure what it is.
To go with the for the wings. It's a slam dunk right
Probably
there.
Russian Imperial Stout.
We do that.
Garvey's, if I know them.
It's a Grodzinski smoke beer.
So that's an easy collaboration with someone in the local community, right? I mean, that makes a lot of sense for you guys and what you're doing. What else? What else do you got there outside of those?
Then we just put a Scotch ale on nitro, which
yes,
is
please.
really good.
Nitro Scotch ale.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good taste to it. Nice chocolate notes, good roasted barley notes to it. John actually has his new beer out, which is a big hit. We call it Uncle John's Honey Wit. We're actually going to can it for the first time in a few weeks, so that's a big taproom pleaser. And then we just put we have a rotating sour series called Bitch Monkey. That's named after the rapids here on the Potomac River.
Yeah, we'll say that again, just in case you didn't hear. It's called Bitch Monkey.
He's got a shirt to go with it. He's got a corresponding shirt.
Amazing.
They got merch ready for it.
There's got to be a story around that name, and we need to hear it.
Oh yeah, John, take it.
So so we have the Potomac nearby, and there are a lot of kayakers who live in the area, and when they go down to the rapids. Yes, yeah. Team USA is here.
Really?
Yeah, they go down through.
That's crazy.
And the kayakers actually named this series of rapids because they are extra challenging. Bitch monkeys. So we sort of borrowed that from them. It's I don't know if you mentioned this already. So all of our beers, we're Maryland centric. So our secondary theme is drink Maryland. So basically, we go through a process with each of our beers. Sometimes can be a little frustrating process, but everything's named after a landmark that is either in the state of Maryland or in DC occasionally. So for example, my first named beer, it was a few months after I started here, but I heard the production team calling the beer as it was coming through as a New England IPA. They were just calling it Jazzy as a nickname. So I looked up a local DC famous jazz club named Jazz Alley or Blues Alley and put that forth, did a little research, put that on our Slack, and from there everybody's kind of like, that's a great idea. So we did that. And it became a tribute actually because this legendary blues jazz club closed during COVID, unfortunately. So we had
so many good
Blues Alley
places.
New England IPA, but then everything else has a story about a campground or hiking trail, or like we said with the Bitch Monkey. We would like to say it over and over again because people love to hear
I
that.
want to know what the background of actually getting those rapids
It goes
called
over a little
Bitch
less
Monkey.
well at farmers markets when the families are.
Yeah. Mommy, what's
I'll have
Bitch Monkey?
the sour.
Yes, explaining that one to the 9-year-olds running around there is tricky.
Well, if you say it cute like Elmo, like I'm a sauce, Bitch Monkey, then it'll be fine.
Please don't ever do that.
You don't like Elmo?
I think you've done that before.
I might have.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done it live on the show. I'm a sauce.
Oh, good Lord. That is-
You know what? You know what's fucked up? I think I remember
Please don't touch me.
when we were at AC. You know what's funny? When we were at AC Beer Fest, and I was sleeping. I thought I heard that at my door. Fuck! Now I know.
To hold the knife a little tighter.
I had that knife very tight.
Just grip just a little bit tighter.
I thought what happened at AC Beer Fest stayed.
Oh, well,
Beer Fest
Maybe
lives.
definitely for you guys.
For us, we were in dire straits of worrying about our life and lives.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we had that crack B&B.
Right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We got so much better of a place this year.
Murder Hotel.
Oh my god,
my God,
it's
it
so
was-
much better than we had last year. We're in a nice beach town, it feels like Long Beach down here in New York. So,
But I'm
Like
going
a
to tell
nice
you
beach
what.
or a beach where you find syringes. in the
no.
sand.
Well, we're not going to the beach. We're going back
But
to AC.
again, I
Yeah.
will reiterate: if
Yeah.
I hear that fucking voice at my door in the middle of the night,
All right. Steven says.
shit.
All right. Well, I'll save that for a special
Well,
moment.
I guess Mike's going alone.
Right.
Thomas knows I can already do it, so I'll drive with Thomas.
But he likes it because
We actually have another beer that we're getting ready to release as well. It's a watermelon rosemary goza that we're actually doing with a brewery in Hyattsville. They're called Streetcar 82. They're the only deaf brewery in the state of Maryland. We actually met Mark, their owner, at the Craft Maryland.
Did you say deaf
beer
brewery? Oh,
Yep,
deaf.
all deaf. They're
All
deaf-owned, deaf-operated.
Holy shit.
Completely deaf brewery.
Oh, okay.
I
read
thought it was like a
an
metal
article about
thing.
them
Yeah.
recently.
I was
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
it's
no,
metal
not,
music
not
centric.
deaf. No, deaf.
Got it.
Definitely
Hearing
hearing impaired.
Got it.
Hearing
Got it.
impaired.
There you go.
I'm
They're
thinking
largely,
impaired, so it took me a little while to get there.
University, which is a deaf and hard of hearing university just in DC.
Wow.
So
So
right
we
outside
played
DC.
the blind softball. This was interesting. 2 years ago in Farmingdale. They have a
beeper bowl.
It was, yeah, exactly. So it's a beeper ball, and you have to run to a beeper at first base.
Yep. And
then they keep track, and I think there's also third base. I think it might be a beeper at each one. But you realize, how much of the senses that they like when you lose your hearing, your other senses crank up a little bit. They beat us. They destroyed us. We also wore blindfolds just to make it even, right? We had to,
well,
we weren't used to those senses.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm gonna imagine at their brewery, there's got to be something there for them to kind of recognize this kind of stuff, right? Do they have like a timer or something? There's got to be something there that allows
More
them to
lights?
do. Yeah, no, well, even that.
Honestly, I think Mark really just pays attention to the vibrations of everything going on.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. Like if you had some sort of, like a badge or even your watch. Like today, technology is ridiculous.
Well,
you can do everything through it automated.
I know you guys know.
Automated, not automated.
I know you guys understand when you're in the brewery and there's that all of a sudden is a different sound and you're like, what the fuck is that? That doesn't sound right. Why? That's a new noise.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Billy,
a new
Billy
noise.
likes to make fun of me.
I will absolutely tease him because he can be anywhere in this brewery. He can be outside the brewery on the loading dock, and there can be the smallest fucking sound, and he will go running like a bat out.
What's wrong?
I sense a disturbance in the force.
Absolutely amazing. It's a superpower.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing so for them, it's a different vibration. They're probably like, oh, what the fuck?
Or it's a sense because
But
in the end,
please don't tell my girlfriend that I have that kind of hearing because I don't want her to know.
all right. I hope she's not watching on the Instagram right now.
She'll watch it later. I'll be in the doghouse.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Wait, you hear everything? I told you 5 apples. You brought 3. You didn't hear me?
You said you didn't hear
more like
the
bagels.
beep on the dryer to take the clothes out. You fucking liar.
No, that's pretty amazing. So you did it was a collab with them? With the brewery that for the hearing impaired?
Yes, so it's, collab.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. So
Sorry, I'm standing near the speaker so I can relay what I hear.
Oh.
It's very loud in here.
we met Mark at the Craft Beer Awards, and him and Billy and I kind of hit it off, and we really enjoy drinking his beer. He's a fantastic brewer. Like their brewery is a small little 3-barrel system, and man, they are absolutely killing it.
It's exceptional. Like it's some of the best beer I've tasted in Maryland.
What's the name of it again?
Streetcar 82.
82, huh?
Highly recommend you get in touch with Mark. Their barrel-aged Irish red ale is probably one of the best beers I've ever had.
In my top 5 beers of all time.
Wow.
Kind of like King Celtic?
I knew that was
Yeah,
coming.
you do. So
And when is that coming back?
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. Sheila works for Long Island Brewing Company in Riverhead, Long Island, and they do a terrific. It wasn't barrel though, but it was Imperial Red,
Right.
and it is delicious. One of our favorites from them. So whenever that comes up, whenever we hear high-end red IPA or red anything, we're like, yep. When's that coming out?
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a fantastic beer that he makes, and I just approached him after the meeting with Billy and said, "Hey, we really enjoyed meeting you. We really like your beer. Like, if you'd like to get together, we'd love to work with you." And one day I got a random email, and he's like, "Hey, Justin, it's Mark from Streetcar. Let's do a beer. Here's the yeast I want to use. Here's the recipe." And I was like, "Oh, holy shit! Okay,
Get on it." Do you guys
let's do it? Yeah.
did you brew there or did you brew with you?
Sorry, what was the question?
Did you
Say again?
brew?
Sorry.
Did you guys brew with them or did you brew at your place?
So we're brewing it at our place. I'm sorry, I'll pop back in.
That's all right.
Sorry, it's very hard to hear.
It's a terrible computer.
Is it the brewing system in the background making so much noise?
It's going to happen on location here. The recipe Justin and Mark are developing together, and then it's going to be brewed here. Mark's going to come over here and work with us on it, and then it's just 50-50 down the middle, and gets our name with their customers and their name with our customers.
Yeah,
and
There you do.
Yeah, that's the point of the collabs, right? I mean, it's just to get cross promotion between the two. How far away are they from you?
They're probably about 30, 35 minutes.
Oh, good. Yeah, so it's enough.
Up the Beltway, not too far away.
Ah, the Beltway. It's like our LIE. Just a shitstorm.
Just a big piece of shit that never moves.
Yeah, just
Show every
my
day.
Yeah, it's nonstop traffic.
yeah, pretty much. I remember the one thing that stands out to me is I think it's a mosque with the big blue roof.
Oh.
On the right by it's right before you get to DC. It's on our way.
It's right on 495. Is it this right here? Are you talking about the Mormon
Take a
temple?
look at the
Oh, is that
surrender
what that's
can.
after? But it's not blue.
Oh, you're talking about the Mormon
Talk
temple.
about the Mormon.
Oh, it's a Mormon. I thought it was a mosque.
Nah,
Not
no,
that,
it's
but I
the
thought
Mormon
what I was
temple.
seeing was a mosque. It had like the
no,
rounded
if you're
top.
not Mormon.
Ah,
We're going to open it up for like a month for special occasions. You can buy tickets for it now.
Mormon. I had no idea.
But yeah, that's the source of our whole name change for Surrender. Was, putting that on the label.
So surrender. We have no Mormons here tonight, right? No one's Mormon.
No.
Good, perfect. So,
Not that I know of.
how many people have seen Book of Mormon?
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not a big
Love it.
Mormon.
Great
Not
music
allowed
here.
to drink. Well, we have a big Mormon population, not currently in the room, but
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Well, I thought they weren't allowed to drink. Are they alled to drink?
they're not allowed to drink. That's the thing.
Huh. Well, that really hurts your base.
The story, short story version basically is that it looked. We went to get the copyright, and it looked a wee bit too much like the movie The Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
So that's what we were doing because back in the day, it started in the late '70s. There's a train bridge that you see, like you see in the picture there, right as you're going westbound on 495, the Beltway.
Yep.
With the temple in the background, and somebody started spray painting "Surrender Dorothy" across it, like the Wicked Witch,
Yep.
painted
That's
in the sky at the end of the
amazing.
movie. So we took that and ran with it, and it's been our flagship for years. Went to get the trademark for it, and the company that owns the rights to that particular movie said, no, not only can you not have the rights to that, you also have to get rid of the yellow brick road,
Yep.
and you have to get rid of the word Dorothy. And so what you see on the can now is our Surrender Rye IPA, which still acknowledges people are concerned about the religious connotations with regard to the temple and the word surrender now.
Yeah.
It's a whole new, like, what? What are you asking me to do? But it is
Serenity now, Jerry.
Surrender to the beer.
Yeah.
But it's still our flagship. It's very popular regionally. People absolutely love it.
Yeah, not too many people are doing a rye IPA.
Rye IPA.
I do. I love them. So let's break some of that down, because in-house today, we have Shattered Glass. We have the Rye IPA. We're in the midst of drinking Shattered Glass. We had Rye IPA to start off the show. Break us down a little bit of that Rye IPA. What are you using? What goes in there? What's the process?
Oh man, it's got a pretty lengthy grain bill. Not a lot in terms of pounds, but it's got Vienna, Melanoidin, rye, Pilsner, Carapils, and a little bit of two-row in there.
Wow.
So it's got an eclectic bunch in there. The hop bill is pretty straightforward. We use Bravo, Enigma, and a little bit of El Dorado hops in it.
Huh. I mean, the El Dorado's, I guess, on the borderline of sexy hops, but the rest of that's pretty straightforward, right? I mean, that's a good lineup.
It's a pretty straight mash bill. We go in at a nice level temperature. We don't step mash or anything, so it's all one temperature, single infusion mash. Send it over to the brew kettle. We usually do about an hour and 10-minute boil, like a little bit longer, just to give it a little bit of that more roasted body flavor to it.
He's giving away secrets. Pay attention, everybody.
I know, big secrets.
I'll tell you, I was glad to hear.
No numbers.
Exactly.
No percentages here.
And Shattered Glass is pretty simple malt bill. It's two-row, a little bit of wheat, and a little bit of carafoam, Environment carafoam. I actually had a lot of enjoyment changing that recipe around. Before I took over here at 7Locks, one of the things that was widely criticized in the area is the inconsistency, and that the beers were not the same from one batch to the next. And also a little bit of our New Englands, they all seem to taste very similar. So that was one goal that I tried to tackle when I took over here last year, and played around with the vanilla and the orange peel that go into the whirlpool, and then I actually added a lot more vanilla and orange peel cold side into the fermenter to just give you a lot of that more effervescence. I really wanted you to feel like you were having a dreamsicle that had melted in your glass.
Cool.
Ooh. So here's something I could open up for discussion, because I don't think we've had this big discussion on the show. So when I see New England IPA, most people typically think hazy, right? Am I crazy to say that?
No. That's fair.
It's fair. You have it as New England IPA. Give me what your, slant or variant of that is, and why a New England IPA to, is it about the name, or is it about trying to change palates? Like, which direction are you headed in for naming it a New England IPA?
So the original recipe was named New England long before I got here. For this one, I really tried to hone in the water chemistry of how you traditionally will find a New England IPA, either in Boston, Connecticut, Vermont, Rhode Island. It's usually a little bit harder in calcium, a little bit harder water chemistry. pH is usually around 5.5, maybe 5.2. So I really tried to fit in that hardness of the water, if that makes any sense. And then for I really tried to hit the citrusy notes, because in my mind, all of the West Coast IPAs that I had, at least the majority of them they were piney, they were resinous, had a little bit of citrusy notes to them, really nice and even keeled. This one I wanted to be a juice fruit bomb almost, without fitting into the cliches that you see now, where it's like 100 different fruits and it's just pulp in your glass.
Orange juice.
It was water chemistry for a lot for me.
And is that really how we're separating it out? I'm just asking, as not really being in the marketing end of the beer. Are we trying to separate out the ideas of New England versus just a standard IPA versus West Coast by taste profile, not by look or feel?
For myself, I do. And I realize that's not a popular opinion with a lot of brewers, but I like the science behind brewing. I like the water chemistry and, the chemistry that goes into the reactions behind everything. So that's kind of why I kind of took a literal scientific approach to it. So to me, as long as it's clear, that's what I like my West Coast as. And Shattered Glass came out a little clearer than I had intended to. I'm not going to lie. I think my filter did a little too good of a job on that one. It could be a little cloudier, so Billy likes to tease me about that one as well when it goes on draft. He's like, "Oh, it's our clear New England."
I like describing it as our clear hazy.
Clear hazy.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It's a hazy seltzer.
My filter and bio
There you go.
worked a little too well on that one.
Are you guys? So you have a distilling background. Have you guys thought about possibly putting in a small distilling? Can you even do that by law? Is there anything that can go along with that?
In the state of Maryland, it can be done. It is not something that our owners have any interest in. Myself, down the line, I would absolutely love to open up a brewery distillery. I really do miss distilling. It's a lot of fun. Actually, Billy is shamelessly plugging my last distillery. We actually had a batch of the Billy Goat that I was telling you guys about earlier.
Yeah.
It had oxidized. We had some issues with the canning line. It wasn't steaming properly, and we had about 300 cases.
No.
We had 300 cases that were just it was lost. It was gone. It was one of the biggest failures of my career. I felt terrible.
Did you at least make like something good out of it? Take it to a shooting range and just start something fun, throw them against walls.
We did take a few cans out, and we did swing a couple baseball bats and tire irons.
Something you got to make something of it. At least get some marketing out of it or something.
I called my old distiller actually back in Richmond, and he brought a full trailer up the next day and actually made moonshine out of it.
Oh
my
wow.
God.
All right, something definitely came out of that. Jesus.
It's actually really, really good. So it's my former distillery, trial and error. John Kreckman was like, "Hey, I'll take it. You tell me how it's coming. I'll make arrangements. I don't care." So he sent me videos of him popping over 2,000 cans.
Oh, wow.
And
How'd his thumbs feel after that one?
Oh my god.
oh man, he said they were numb. Oh, they had him wrapped up in bandages, the whole 9 yards. He said it was a miserable experience, but they sold it out in 2 weeks. So I mean, he did something
How
right.
about that?
There you go.
Wow.
Grapes, lemons into lemonade, rather. I was going to say grapes into wine, but no.
it
He doesn't want to do any winery work.
Really good.
And they both taste
Out
pretty
to
good.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. I would imagine, going into this, you guys have had a few mistakes like that. What was, besides that one, obviously, what was some of the other big ones that kind of came and went, some things that just didn't work? What were some of those mishaps that maybe you had turned into something beautiful?
Okay, yeah. I'll tell the story. Yeah.
Everyone's got one.
It was just early on in my brewing career here. So it was probably my 4th or 5th solo brew, and I was working on Surrender. Must have been for the first time or so, because at that point in the grain room, every bag went into the mill. That was my understanding. And then apparently Justin told me, 50 pounds of this bag of the roasted barley, the dark stuff, of this, this 30-pound bag that I'm handing you, just put 3 pounds. Oh, sorry.
It's only one of them. It's
It's
fine.
Anyway, somebody decided to throw the whole bag in, so we had, of course, basically a black IPA.
Happy accident, according to Mike here.
Love me a black
tastes
IPA.
really good.
That's what brewing's all about, right?
Yeah.
So we kept it in the fermenter, and we kept kind of blending it with the batches that came down afterwards, and we ended up using almost all of it.
Cool.
Nice.
And now we have the little last bit of it on tap, and it's selling very well right now. Just renamed under something.
Happy
There
mistakes.
you go.
Like
very valuable
Bob
lesson.
Ross.
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents happen.
I mean, that's what we said, though. I mean, like, it tasted fine. I wasn't going to dump it down the drain.
No.
Hell no. A bunch of people checking in
that's
on
alcohol.
on Instagram. Joseph John saying, "What's up?" Beer Body Slams checking in. Nikki Leeds. West Babylon, our buddy Robbie from West Babylon Superstars checking in, and Sheila's waving back at Robbie. Cantina, Amanda McDonald's hanging out. A bunch of people in here in the Instagram. Gentlemen, I'm going to cruise off of Instagram for a minute because we want to get into a segment that we usually do right around this time. Anyone on Instagram right now, go over to YouTube or Facebook, type in the Wort with Mike and Pete, and check us out
Steve.
live on. And Steve, sorry.
Well, since you lost
I've
the
only
battle
been
with
here.
COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And yes, and if anybody's listening to this, I did not succumb to the COVID, as Mike stated 2 weeks ago.
It was the first thing
That
out of
I
my mouth.
It's an
too.
Easter miracle.
It's an Easter.
I rose.
Steve is risen.
I
Thank
have
goodness.
risen.
We're gonna jump off this Instagram, and then we're gonna get into Steve's questions, gentlemen. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what you guys got coming up. What's in the tanks? What's going on for the future? What do you think the next big step is here at the brewery?
All right. So what's in the tanks? We have another New England. It's called Indigo Tunnel. It's guava, pineapple, and tangerine New England IPA, which we're very excited about. We have a Belgian Quad in the tank that
Yes, please.
it has a very big cult following here in Montgomery County. And we got Polychrome, which is our double IPA, which we haven't made in quite a while. So I'm pretty excited about that one. In the summer, we got a lot of fruited beer. The Bitch Monkey will be doing peach for the first time this Friday, actually. So we got a lot of good ones. Billy and John also have a lot of recipes that we've all been formulating together. So not some that aren't quite ready, but they'll be hitting the brew deck here pretty soon.
Nice. With that quad, are you going for traditional? Are you doing any crazy variants? What's the ethos of that one?
Traditional Belgian Quad. All I can say about that one, because that one is under very big lock and key secret, it is our owner's recipe. It is a lot of Belgian candy sugar. It has a 2-hour boil, and it has a lot of nice chocolate and toasted toffee notes. So that's all I can say about it. Right
That
now.
sounds really good.
It's phenomenal. It's really good.
And that will be available when?
Mike, it was your wife who was in here, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Right. And I believe when she was in here, there was another lady that she was here with.
That was her mother.
We're both drinking the Bitch Monkey Cranberry, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. They love their sours for sure.
Right. So we should make a point when we've got the blueberry right now, and when we have the peach up and running as well, we'll make a point to get something in the mail for.
That's awesome. That'd be great. They would love it. Got to keep
the quad.
Yes.
Yeah, but when is that quad going to be ready?
As for the future of the brewery, we actually just got our.
I will say this: it's probably hard
sidestep.
for them to hear you. Steve was asking, when's the quad going to be available?
Quad will actually be available on Wednesday.
Oh,
Road trip.
Well, I'll try to send a growler up.
there we go. Make it a crowler so it doesn't
as for the
get
future,
jostled.
we're like Billy and I were saying, we have the collaboration coming up.
Yeah.
We got a lot of different beers that haven't been brewed before that we're really looking forward to doing. We're getting I was told today that we're actually submitting 5 beers to the Great America Beer Festival in Denver.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh,
So,
by the way, if you guys get in there and we have to send our feelers out, that's been on my what's the word I want? It's been on my bucket list, but I don't want to even say that because I don't want to even indicate anything that's the future.
Well, you don't know. You may lose your battle with COVID.
That's right. As I did.
Perhaps. I that's one of the ones that I want to not only just get to, but broadcast at. There's just so much beer out there. And what you can... have you guys actually been to one of those? Or...
I have never been to Great America. Have you guys? Not yet. No, this will be a first opportunity for all of us. So we're pretty excited.
It's a great time. I had gone at least 5 times, and
really?
Yeah, poured
fancy pants over here.
We poured 4 years in a row, and won 2 medals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those ones that just...
Divide and conquer, right? Is that
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer,
Silver, got a silver for golden Belgian strong.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Belgian.
Wow. Nice.
The what are you thinking about entering into that?
So we're going to enter a couple of our cores, probably Devil and Surrender. Surprise, I want to enter Honeywit.
Breaking news.
And there's a couple of recipes that I've been working on, some barrel aged stuff that I haven't had the opportunity to package yet that I'd like to send out there. I've got a Imperial Irish cream ale and an Imperial Irish stout that I'd like to send as well.
Very cool.
There you go.
Now you guys going to pour, or you just going to hang out and have a great time?
Probably a little bit of both, but I mean, our owner is going, so we'll probably have to be on a little bit of our best behavior. But there's at least one day where they're going to let us run wild, which is a mistake. But
we got a segment coming up here. We're going to learn a little bit about you guys and your profiles and what you guys like. This is a little segment we like to call Steve's Questions, and it's going to go around the room. So let's get into the theme music that we have for Steven, and then we'll be right back with some questions.
Hey, you cool hep cats. Tonight, we bring you a very special presentation. 3 questions with our very own Steve Pominski. Yeah. Steve's Questions. 3 questions from Steve. 3 questions. Steve's Questions. Go.
You gotta have it.
Got to do it.
Steven, let's get those questions out. We're going to ask it for everyone that we have both in the room and remote tonight. Why don't you explain a little bit how this works?
All right. I'm going to ask 3 questions, one at a time. Just try to be honest. You don't have to. Nobody gets judged about anything. You could say whatever you would like. And these are just, just to see where you guys have been from and your experience with beer. The first question, and we'll start with the guys down in Maryland. What was that one beer, that first beer that you had that turned you on to craft beer, where you said, what is going on here? I need to find out more about craft beer. What was that one?
For me, that was a beer called Falcon Smash, and it's by a brewery in Richmond, Virginia called Triple Crossing. It is almost gained such a following that it's like the city's beer, the city's craft beer. It was that one, and Stone's production facility is actually in Richmond as well, and I've been going to their tap room since I was 16 with my parents, and just having a number of their beers definitely made me want to get into the industry for sure.
Nice.
For me, I mean, I grew up in Virginia, and my family had a tendency to drink a lot of really terrible shit beer. And so I was very, very happy with my terrible shit beer for a long period of time. But when I was living in Brooklyn, I got into a bad car situation, and my car got taken apart. It took weeks and weeks and weeks, and it was right by the other half location, right down there near the McDonald's.
Yep, someone was spoiled.
And so I would just go there and hang out there for hours and hours and hours while they were taking apart and putting my car back together over and over and over again, and fell madly in love with that place and kind of stopped drinking shit beer after that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think you'd ever drink anything else besides that again. That's going to be your go-to. What was your favorite from them?
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
What was your favorite from them?
I'm out from Chicago. Moved here from Chicago 20 years ago. Used to hang out at the Goose Island, the actual Goose Island brewery.
Oh, the real one.
Eventually got bought up by, InBev.
Yep.
And that's where I not only fell in love with craft beer, but decided that I wanted to start making it myself at home. And so I've been homebrewing for the last 23 years now. And that gave me, of course, the background and experience to step in here a couple of years ago.
Nice. Let's come to the ladies. Start with you, Michelle.
I'm probably gonna have to say Nugget Nectar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
Love the Trogs.
Yeah, I hated beer for a long time. And then I don't know, something about Nugget Nectar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it being delicious.
Yes,
That will one.
absolutely. Yes,
That will one.
definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Wait, did I say?
They're like an hour away.
I will be honest. Not in the craft beer industry. I've been a bartender for a very long time, and I do some different work. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't have like a specific beer that was like, ooh, this is the one. But definitely through just bartending, working with folks, people that would come in and bring different stuff for us to try. The years of drinking shit beer when I was younger, definitely was like, yeah, craft beer is definitely more for me. I can't really think of anything too specific.
Long Island.
Yeah. well, it's funny. Sheila has for many years has been my regular and would be like, try this one, whatever was on tap that we had, because we would have Long Island, would have Montauk, a couple different ones. But so really my regulars would, kind of guide me on like what's good, what to try.
Did you ever call her Padawan? I will guide you, young Padawan.
Well,
That's a good one.
You know what's funny though is that I have known her for years in a bar setting,
Yeah.
but I was not there in a drinking
Yeah.
mode. I was there because
Socializing.
my
Yeah.
my
you were working.
business,
Yep.
my paddleboarding business, is located where her bar is located.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I knew her for many years, and when I'm working with my business, like I'm not in drinking mode.
Yeah.
So it would be like one for me, like whatever you
Yeah.
have on tap, and it's a small tap list.
Yeah.
So you don't have a lot to choose from, but they have gotten more craft beer over the
Yeah.
years, which is nice.
What is it recently?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, recently, we went out east this past weekend, and we tried, of course, Give Me a Smile, and then we went over to Uber Geek, and they had some really awesome beers on tap. My husband got, oh my gosh, I don't even know, it's like the space one.
Oh, Space Age.
Yeah, he
Space-
got that. We tried that. That was really, really good.
That's one of his cores now, right?
Yeah.
Space Age Time, Stone Age
Stone Age
Mind.
Mind.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
So that was really good. One of my other friends tried something else. So we kind of just were, testing out.
Still exploring.
Yeah. But it's been fun so far. So.
Just wait till the harder questions come.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sheila.
This is a hard one for me because I feel like I was exposed to so many great beers in such a small amount of time, because it was like, Blue Point definitely made a big impression on me when I was younger. All of a sudden, I grew up with my father drinking Bud.
Yeah.
That was his go-to for my entire life. So I thought that was basically all there was to beer. And then...
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I have no shame in opening a can of Bud, once every 6 months.
Gotta have a heavy every so much.
Yeah, but then, Blue Point was there, and I had their toasted lager, and I was like, oh, like it can actually have more flavor. This is interesting. Okay. And then that's back when the tasting room was this big,
Yep.
and you could drink as much as you wanted.
Yep. Tiny dive bar.
Yeah. And then I had their blueberry ale, and that was like, whoa, this is totally, there's something here so much bigger. And then all day IPA, I had that, and I was like, okay, like I can get into IPAs also. And then it was just an explosion from there.
I remember their lineup was Toxic Sludge,
Yeah,
Lager,
Toxic Sludge.
Blueberry, and then the
Old
other
Howling
one.
Bastard.
Hoptical.
Hoptical.
Bastard
Yeah.
was a brutal
Those were the four
one.
cores that came out to start. Ridiculous.
I didn't like, when I was younger, I really, really didn't like IPAs, but Optical Illusion. For
Yeah.
some reason,
So good,
always.
It was always the go-to at that
Yeah.
point.
And now it's different. Now they changed the
Yes.
recipe.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's
they did.
totally
I
different.
know.
Yeah.
All right, so now question number 2. All right, guys, what is your favorite style as of right now?
Favorite stuff.
Mm.
I'm a hophead. So if it's an IPA, I'm there. I've been enjoying milkshake IPAs. I've been enjoying the hazies and the juicies. So I'm just a huge fan of what people are coming up with, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Although I do see, I feel like I see a resurgence of the West Coast, the original recipe coming back in a lot of breweries. I know ours is very popular. We sell a lot of our Devil's Alley, and that's, for me in particular, that's my favorite beer that we have on tap all the time here. But yeah, just my hop love just dictates all the beers that I love to drink. But right now, I'm having a Scotch ale, so
Yeah.
I'm okay to switch it up a little bit every now and then.
John, if you had to pick one hop out there, what do you think your favorite hop is at this point?
I've been in love with Citra for a long time.
Yeah. Sexy hop all day.
Yeah.
Citra, Mosaic,
I love Cashmere.
Cashmere, yeah.
Cashmere.
Cashmere.
Yeah.
Cashmere and Comet. Those
Comet,
two.
really? All right. I live and die by the hop.
those two.
All right, what else we got?
Everyone's naming their favorite hop.
Go ahead. When it comes to me, it's actually funny. I used to hate sours until I actually started coming here, and they had the sour guava on tap, and the sour guava sort of changed my entire palate here. It's my hands down favorite sour, and so now it's the first thing I try whenever I go anywhere. I don't really get into the really fruity, heavy, sweet, milkshakey shit. I really just like the straight sour punch to the mouth, and
Okay.
so that's the first place I go whenever I go into a place. It's always hit the sours first.
Things like Gozes,
Ghosts. Do you like ghosts?
Yeah.
Oh, do you like ghosts?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm having trouble hearing because
farmhouses, stuff like that. Yeah.
So love Gozes. That's why I'm really excited that we're actually making one here, because I think it's the first time we've ever put one out here. Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
What's your favorite hop?
My favorite hop? Shit. I just like the smell of the lemon.
The lemon drop.
Lemon drop. The lemon drops. I
Interesting.
can just rub that shit on my hands and smell it all day.
Rub it on
There you
your
go.
neck when you go out.
Yeah.
you know.
A little bit behind the ear.
It's like pheromones.
Yeah. Baby, what do you smell like tonight? Honey, that's my favorite thing. It's the lemon drop.
I myself, I'm kind of like John. I used to be a really big hophead. I'm a really big fan of West Coast IPAs over New England's personally. I kind of like the piney, resiny flavor of an IPA. But over the last few years, just with my distilling background, I'm a princess, really. I'm just going to say it. I really love barrel-aged beer, like wax dip bottles or anything that's on draft that's a barrel-aged beer. I am a little punk for that. My favorite hop, though, honestly, all of them. I can't really pick
a good
one.
answer.
These guys will see me just stick my face in the bag every time I love the smell of every hop.
Which is really great when he does that, because you can smack the bag and it all just
Got all caught in his
I
hair.
guess
He's got
if I
a
had to
little
pick one,
particulate.
I'm a really big fan of Amarillo or Centennial.
Oh, okay. Some classics. There you
Yeah,
go.
good old classics.
Yeah.
I just love the profile of those two.
Before you ask in-studio guests here, a bunch of people checking in on Instagram went back live. We got Barley Boy. We got, Diana's saying hi. Yeah, Craft Not Crap LI. Got the Lisa Geiger says, I guess, Body Slams are coming back. Jervissa 59, a bunch of people checking in, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mish.
I'm definitely a fangirl for any good West Coast IPA. The bitter, the better. Because now we don't really see any bitterness in any IPAs, really.
It's all juice.
Yeah. And then funky lambics. You don't see a lot of that either. Yeah. Yep.
Now you can.
You actually took the words right out of my mouth. Not to cut you off.
We'll just skip you then.
So now we know.
I'm going to go with IPAs too. And now that I'm learning more with you guys, more of the, I guess, West Coast bitter. I don't like anything too fruity. But again, like as I'm kind of exploring more, I'm learning like sours really aren't my thing. Again, I don't
I'm
really,
right there with you.
Yeah, it's a little too much for me. But yeah, I would say IPAs.
Yeah.
I'm willing to try anything, but mostly IPAs.
Sheila,
So,
you have
Sheila.
you have the keys to the kingdom over there at Long Island.
I do.
You pretty much have your way with any of the beers that come out there. Has that changed what you were about to say?
No, it hasn't. And
Okay.
I am very fortunate with the amount of runway they give me and how much input I have in what goes on there.
Yeah.
I love West Coast IPAs, and for a long time, still now, it's so hard to find people locally, especially doing
Yes.
good West Coast IPAs.
Yep.
I pushed for that last year to be our anniversary beer, and I thought it came out amazing. And I am steadily applying pressure to rebrew that beer because I thought it was just a fantastic
You're like the
effort.
tourniquet. You're just slowly like twisting the thing.
Yes,
Okay.
I will get
I'll
my
cut
way.
I'll
I
cut
don't
the
care
limb
if
off.
it takes 10
It's happening.
years. Yeah.
Damn it, Greg, do it.
Yes. But I also am a sucker for a good sour. A lambic, like lambics are in my heart.
Yeah.
I'm kind of steering away from any type of thicker sours. Like I don't want
Don't throw milk sugar
milkshake,
in it.
Nothing. I
So
don't want
420
lactate.
North is not for you. 450 North. 450 North.
Honestly, I do love them. I
Yeah.
do, but I just feel like it was just oversaturated. I had too many of them. My beer fridge is still full of fantastic versions, but I just don't want it right now.
Yeah, it's not quite the season either at this point. I mean, when you think about
I mean,
it,
is there a season?
I mean, for me there is. I feel like every time it's warm out, I want something crispy or
Yes.
something just
Yeah.
bright.
Right.
And
Oh, well, you know, it's
Definitely,
like when
definitely.
after I mow the lawn for a couple hours, I break open that barrel aged Russian Imperial style.
Right,
That
exactly.
quenches the thirst.
Yes.
nothing like sweating into your boxers like a nice Russian Imperial Stout
Right.
after a long day in 90-degree weather,
it's
smelling
the
like
best.
grass clippings.
It's the best.
Oh boy.
I just really am into beer that tastes like beer, and
There
I
you go.
wish that more breweries
you go.
would really
I know
learn
the
how to
slushy
protect
flavor.
that.
beers
Yeah.
are just too much, and then your palate after
Oh, it gets
tasting.
it gets
Yeah.
crushed.
It's
It also
obliterated
just
now.
sounds like, I mean, it just sounds fucking ridiculous, some of those.
I mean, also when you pour it out, there's like a quarter that you can't pour because it's just sludge.
Slush.
Yes,
Sludge.
thank you.
It's true.
Sludge.
But that's the part you're supposed to chew afterwards, right?
Oh,
Yes.
That's like
Yeah.
the
You get your spoon out and you eat it like yogurt, and you know it's.
I literally
Gross.
just poured a beer the other day.
Yeah.
Our brewer Kevin brought it in because he knows I'm in love with this one particular brewery.
Gad, say what was wrong with it?
It's Omnipolo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh.
I love them, and honestly, I think that they can do no wrong. But
I really thought she was going to say barrage, but
Yeah.
listen, you know I love Barrage too. Yada yada yada, all the way.
Did they do the Action Bronson beer Omnipolo?
No.
I don't
No,
think
right?
so.
Who was that? That was
I don't-
somebody.
I don't think that was them, but
Yeah.
I do love Action Bronson
Yeah,
too.
it was a good one.
But this beer, it was like a cotton candy berry something or other. It poured like yogurt. It looked like Pepto Bismol, and I just couldn't get into it.
It was like probably
It was-
too like cloyingly sweet.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
just too much, and I wanted to love it because it was
Gross.
them, and I couldn't do it. I had to drain pour it. It was very sad.
Drain pour.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
there's no-
Keep those standards
there's
high,
no-
Sheila.
Seriously, I'm not gonna drink shit just because.
Yeah, just-
you know.
But
Just
there's
to save
no
a buck.
balance
Yeah.
in it. Like at least with milk stouts, you have that balance of
Yeah,
the
you get
rich
the-
and sweet
Right.
with the roastiness. So
Yes, but
I
it
just
doesn't have
no.
that.
And unlike Pete, if there is any sludge, you could just spoon it out onto some tiramisu or something, and you'd be good to go.
Gross.
that wasn't
thanks.
Pete's ballpark, that's for sure.
Oh, God.
And final question of 3 questions of Steve. What is that one beer, guys, that if you went to a restaurant or a bar right now, you would hope to see on tap, other than the beers that you guys brew?
It's a lot. It's a lot of thinking.
The beer that we hope to see on tap, other than one of ours.
Yep, that
Yeah.
you would that it could be any. It could be from 20 years ago. It could be from anywhere in on the earth. What would be that one beer you're like, oh man, I hope.
Got my answer, so I'm just gonna jump in. I am basic as fuck, and if I see pumpkin,
What did you say?
I every time I see the pumpkin on tap, my heart jumps.
Southern Tier.
Southern Tier's
wow.
pumpkin.
Yep.
It's,
That is
I
very
love a
basic.
pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
I will always have a pumpkin beer. And if I see that one, I will run towards it.
That's awesome.
Run.
Basic as fuck.
I like that you own it.
Yeah, that would be
Now,
hands down.
do you like the rimmed or unrimmed?
Oh,
How are they gonna?
rimmed all the way.
All right, there you go, buddy.
Nice looking-
Way to own up to that. I love it.
Now, are you wearing a flannel in the meantime? Got to have a flannel on. Got to have some boots on.
I'm a lumberjack, and I'm.
There you go. Well, there you go. You owned it. I love it.
Go ahead, buddy. Actually, mine's gonna be KBS out of Founders
Sure.
Yeah.
at barrel aged stout. When I see that, I jump for joy.
Do you KBS or would you even take a CBS?
I think it's K.
Well,
There's both.
There's both.
Oh no, KBS. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
KBS.
Right.
CBS. You got to say it like a broadcaster.
CBS.
CBS.
We can't broadcast sports. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I think mine, just because of the experiences I was having in my life, I was having such a good time playing college hockey. New Glarus is Spotted Cow.
Oh yes.
I feel like I remember that.
All-time favorite beers. It just sucks that it's only a regional beer and I can't get it
Yep.
anywhere else. But
Yep.
I would absolutely, if I saw anything from New Glarus, I would absolutely get that.
Yes. I'm a fan of New Glarus. Like you said, you can only get it there. You're not getting it anywhere else.
You only got to be in the confines of. Oh, geez, where in Wisconsin even are they? They're in BFE.
Is it New Glarus, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think it
don't know.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 4 towns in Wisconsin anyway.
Population
Well, you got
77.
Eau Claire, Madison, and Green Bay, and Milwaukee, like,
And New Glarus.
And New Glarus.
and New Glarus.
It's a quick drop off after the top 3.
There you go.
It goes
Yeah,
right there.
it nosedives pretty quick, but
Yeah.
they got a solid beer scene.
They make beer in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I heard they have the best beer,
Oh.
and sometimes it's light.
Michelle.
This is a hard one.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go either with. I mean, I don't brew it, but but it's from where I work, North Forks Pierce the Ale, which is a West Coast IPA. Or
That is an excellent one.
Yes,
That is
it's
excellent.
a phenomenal. It's one of the flagships. Or Dealing with Dissonance from Uber Geek, which is a dark sour with ginger and tamarind.
I had that one.
Yeah.
I liked
I'm
it.
sorry?
There was a little bit of the tamarind for me. I'm not a huge tamarind fan, but it was subtle enough. But I wish it just didn't have the tamarind. The rest of it was brilliant.
See, I just I love drinking dark sours with sushi.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I just love drinking and then eating sushi with it, and just like the umami flavor comes through.
Okay. Yeah. I
I
can see that.
just every single time.
Wait, who makes that beer?
Uber Geek in Riverhead on Long Island. It's with I think
Okay.
lime,
That
ginger,
sounded
and
amazing.
tamarind.
We're all
Oh,
three,
it's
like, trying to
phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some wild science going on out there that he just concocts.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
it's-
in sours with like blue spirulina.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
crazy.
and we're going to get to that because the Lady Brewsters have their annual beer release, and it was brewed at this brewery, Uber Geek. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's finish up the questions here.
So I'm gonna go with one just because of I'm from the area and I grew up around it and it's just nostalgic for me. Hoptical Original from Blue Point.
I like that you said original.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of the original
The small
tasting
batch,
room,
yeah.
and
Oh,
went to high school with the owner's daughter, and it's just purely for memories and good time growing up, and bringing my son there when he was little, and finding my food vendor at their River Ave location. So for my wedding, so I'm gonna go with the original Hoptical.
Wait, who'd you have?
the pizza truck that they would.
Oh
always
yeah,
have there.
the coal fire one.
Yep, he was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, we did food trucks for our wedding, so he was.
That's
That's how we found him
amazing.
out there hanging out, and went down there for a tasting with some beer. So it was I'm gonna go.
Nostalgia nonetheless.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sheila. What do you got?
Oh God, this is so hard. For me to choose a favorite is impossible. But I think based on a lot of sentimental stuff, and also because it is fantastic, I would say Pliny, Russian River.
Oh.
Like I could drink that all day, every day. Honestly, I just love that
It's
beer.
so
I
good.
at least once a week, I say to myself, you know what? I'm getting in the car and I'm driving to fucking Monk's Cafe over in Philly just to get a Pliny.
Okay, so you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that was kind of one of those white whale beers for me where I had a hard time even finding it
Oh,
to
yeah.
begin
Oh
with.
yeah.
Yep.
And I was very fortunate the first time around that I have family in California that lives not far, and they made the hike over there. They sent me like
Yep.
a care package of beer,
Aw.
and it was incredible.
Nice.
And then it was like, okay, where can I find this again? So,
Yeah. My wife,
You got the hook in me.
Yeah.
My wife every so often will do that for my birthday. All of a sudden she'll be like, "Oh, I got you something for your birthday," and it's a bottle of Pliny. I'm like, "Man,
She's
does
great.
this woman know
That's
me?
amazing. That's amazing.
Man, does she know me?"
Yeah.
Touches my heart.
I'm
Right.
telling you.
Yes. And that's an extra step when you do that.
Yeah,
that's love
hell
right
yeah.
Yeah,
there.
because that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's certainly not easy.
No.
Let's talk about the beer here, because you guys, third annual beer.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's break this down a
It
little
may
bit.
have gotten a little warm,
Yeah, no,
but
that's-
I
Well, let's
will
crack one
pass
quick,
it.
yeah, so that way we don't lose out here on this. The whole process here from year one was to get your North Fork breweries, North
Right.
Fork here on Long Island,
Yes.
to come together. The women come together, all of which representing the breweries, and put something together. The first year, was it Fragile the first year, or was that second year?
No, that was
Lunar
second.
Ascent.
Oh, Lunar was the first one,
year.
right?
Yes.
And then Fragile was
Fragile Like
last
a Bomb was last year.
was last year.
Right.
So this year, tell us the process of getting into this. Like, we're sitting down. We got a brand new year of. Listen here. We have a brand new year of something we're going to have to brew. What goes into that? We have a meeting. What are we doing?
Well, I think that we're at the point where we keep in contact with each other now throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
And we've become friends from the project. So, me, Michelle, and Katie make up the executive board, basically, of the project. So
And Katie's
And
from.
Katie's from Greenport.
Greenport, yes, yeah.
right. So
We got to get Greenport on the show, by the way. We had this
Yes.
discussion a few weeks ago. I reached out to them. Maybe you guys can throw a line to Katie, but we were like, well, we had this discussion like Greenport. Really haven't seen much from them lately. Blah blah. And we realized,
right, the algorithm.
It's our algorithm.
I remember that
Yeah.
conversation.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
algorithm.
I think you called in that day, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
because
were
we were
right in the
talking
middle
about
of brackets.
brewery bracketology,
Yes.
right? And we're like, how come we haven't seen much coming out? It's because our Instagram is telling us you don't need to see
Fucking
that.
Right,
Zuckerberg.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, then we purposely started going through and looking through and going, wow, they got a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
So I got to get them on because that's one of the ones that it was on our bucket list from the very beginning. They've been around forever.
Yeah.
And one of the OGs on Long Island, I would say, along with a lot of them. So you guys come together, three of you come together and initially start the process?
Right, exactly. I mean, we kind of always end up the previous year like, what would be great for next year?
Yeah.
And then we pick it up and start the ball rolling and, kind of decide the direction we want to go in. It's instrumental, the fact that Michelle has, such a strong vision and Katie has so much brewing experience being the cellar person at Greenport.
Yep.
And we all come together and kind of get the ball rolling and see what's possible,
I mean, this year was definitely a little worrisome after 2 years of COVID.
Yeah.
We honestly didn't think it was going to happen, which is where Sarah comes in.
Right.
Sarah works for Long Island Safer Bars. And there were just a number of people that we had reached out to possibly sponsor the project this year. And Sarah had reached out to me about another project I have on the side, but just not ready for any type of partnership like that. And then I was like, oh, well, why not Lady Brewsters? Long Island Safer Bars basically sponsored the project for us this year. So we were able to kind of take that financial burden off of all the participating breweries. And through the sponsorship, every brewery is now able to make a profit on this beer, but then also donate a portion of the proceeds to the Retreat, a domestic violence organization that is also associated with Long Island Safer Bars. But Safer Bars is like government-funded initiative where the Retreat is
private funded.
They're
Local
obviously raising.
Yeah, not for profit. So you guys have a lot of this information on the side they can. Maybe Sarah, you could tell us a little bit about Long Island Safer Bars initiative. What's the idea behind it? What's the goal here?
Yeah, so we work. It's really a Suffolk and Nassau initiative, but it's me and two part-time people. So we really are focused in Suffolk right now for the most part. But it is an initiative that focuses on creating and sustaining healthy nightlife, mainly sexual violence prevention. So I've kind of seeing what Michelle is doing. I knew Sheila was part of Lady Brewsters, and we had this extra funding to really focus on, what they call health equity. So how can we further, projects that are happening within the community that really focus on not only, preventing sexual violence and alcohol serving establishments in those communities, but also like who are they bringing to the table? So of course, like women in brewing, that's something that we want to lift up. So that's where I was like, hey, we have this. What do you think? And Michelle brought up, Lady Brewsters would be a great partnership, which I was like, absolutely 100%, let's do this. So we're really focused in Patchogue right now.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to more and more breweries, and it's just such a different community, a different culture. So I'm really excited that, we've kind of been able to have this lift off, but also, further some partnerships on the East End, because it's an area that we've been wanting to, reach out to, but it's all about timing, I guess,
As a bartender of 20 years, which is, I actually sort of ended my career right here in this building, not perfectly, but whatever. Part of as a bartender, a lot of places want tips training.
Yeah.
And what's in that is not necessarily this abuse prevention.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that probably should go into that, at least a chapter in the book, right? I mean, this is something that you guys are looking at.
Yeah. So our curriculum is actually, it's called Safer Bars. It was created in Arizona. It's evidence-based, so it's proven to change behavior.
Yeah.
But it mainly focuses on bystander intervention. So what are situations that you see? How can you handle them? And really, it's a community effort. So how can you work together, not just your establishment, but if an establishment down the street is trained,
right?
How are we all working together to shift the culture of communities?
Yeah, because if you find that here, they're just going to go down the street and do
exactly
and exhibit the behavior they want to exhibit.
Yeah.
Right?
So how do we notice aggression? And it doesn't have to be outright violence,
right.
but things
Small,
here and there that
things,
we
yeah.
see, and I've bartended for many years too, things that I've seen, that if my coworker and I are not on the same page on what to do, it just kind of falls to the wayside.
Yeah.
And especially, again, thinking about bartenders in the industry, brewers in the industry that are women, it's, a topic that hasn't really come up in the past, and now that it is being talked about, it is being addressed. We've had some really great conversations with folks across industry, restaurants, bars, breweries, who want to do the work. So it's really cool, and this was just such a great way to even further it.
And you guys partnered up with Retreat before, correct? Previous?
No,
you didn't. What was last year's?
Last year's was
ECLI.
ECLI.
Yes, ECLI. Okay,
And
yeah.
the year before that was Family Service League.
So you guys are rotating that
yes,
going around.
every year
Okay,
it's
yeah.
a different
All right,
charity
good.
of choice.
That's cool.
Right.
And so all the proceeds, for the most part, you're making what you can, so you guys aren't going in the hole on this, obviously, and trying to get as much of those funds over to that nonprofit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, again, the funding that LI Safer Bars was able to provide for us as a sponsor, it made it possible for all of us to participate. And I mean,
And that was the concern last year. I
yeah,
remember talking
'cause
about
you guys
this.
know,
How- and the guy-
smaller breweries, you're
Yeah.
in the middle of winter. January and February are hard months.
Yeah.
And now, you're going to them and saying, hey guys, can you free up X amount of money for this project that we want to work on? And even if you want to work on it, sometimes it is hard.
And not just that, on the schedule, too. They all have their schedules
Yes.
out
Yeah.
months in
Yes.
advance. They know what they're coming out with.
Right.
So it's tough to get a tank space.
So we were a little nervous that not everybody would be able to commit this year,
Right.
and that just alleviated that concern, which was amazing for us to be able to
And you
not
have
worry
a
about it.
ton of the breweries out there participating. Eastern Front, Greenport, Jamesport, Long Island, North Fork, Peconic County. Sorry, Tradewinds, who I've talked to a few times. I gotta get them on too. Twin Fork, and of course Uber Geeks. So I mean, you've got a bunch of the breweries out there.
All of them.
Yeah. You're right. I was trying to think of one that's not there, but no, they're all there.
Yeah.
Participating in this. So how does this get done? You guys brewed at Uber Geek,
Yes.
and tell us about that process. After coming up with a recipe, what was the conversation with Rob over at Uber Geek to try to get this off the ground and moving forward?
Rob signed on last year.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
Before you even had
He
the
wanted
space?
to do it.
I think we had, he opened April last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so during March and April, when we released the beer, he was like, I really want to be a part of this. Please think of me for next year. So he was already penned in.
He was teed up.
From a year ago. Yeah, and then it was just a conversation between him, his tasting room manager, Jeannie, myself, Katie, and Sheila, just going back and forth of just even the cost of things, ingredients.
Yeah. Now, did you have to come up with that before you approached Sarah with the total? Because they sponsored this, right? So they pretty much...
Yeah, we slowly coming to, okay, what is this going to cost? Trying to add up all the ingredients and figure it out. So we slowly got to that cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a big eye-opener, was it?
For me?
Yeah.
Kind of.
You knew what you were getting into, is what I'm saying.
Being in the industry. Well, we only had a certain allowed, amount of money that we could use.
Right.
So it kind of was what can we cover? What can't we cover? Because it is state money, so they have restrictions on some things. So we were just kind of going back and forth and where can we fit this all in? But then on my end, I kind of had an idea because I've worked, not in craft brewing, but still in the industry for long enough to know here's how it might look, which was great because my supervisor and my agency, they've never worked with partners like this. So they were a little how's this going to go? What is it going to look like? So I kept cool and we kind of worked out what we needed to before I went to them.
No,
don't worry, it's all going to be okay. And also the timeline of things, they're used to, it's an agency. They work with community-based partners. I'm it's going to look way different, but I promise we'll get it done. It'll all work out.
And you had to present that, right? That's something you had to show, this is the timeline, this is everything.
Yeah. So I had to come up with an MOU, a timeline, agreement, whatever you want to call it, send it to the state, send it to Michelle, send it to my ED, kind of make sure everybody's on the same page. So yeah,
no pushback from anybody at that point.
No,
right?
Everybody was so excited. Breweries, I was saying today, my contract manager at state level was this sounds so amazing. They were all so excited because this is statewide work. There are many other counties that are doing nightlife work. It's focused on sexual violence prevention. So New York, all over, but Long Island really has been leading the state for a while now, which is just really amazing and speaks to, the community within, this industry. So, so it's very exciting.
So let's talk about the brewing process. I know we don't have Katie here to really go through it, but I know you guys came up with it with Rob and kind of that collaboration concept. Bring us to that day. Would you guys, obviously you went with an IPA.
Yes.
Which is our standard base, but then you really kind of adjunct this up. Tell me about what goes into this, the concept of what you're looking for.
Katie is someone who loves herbs and spices and really loves the idea of just combining different flavors, almost like cocktails. So we were just throwing out so many herbs and different things and pairings for that, which Sheila was I don't know.
And which ones got shot down? Now I want to.
There was a lot of talk about currants and fig,
which could be good in a sour.
Which could. I don't think there was anything that really got thrown out.
Brussels sprouts.
Was it rosemary? Was rosemary thrown in there?
Rosemary
was
definitely thrown in there.
I don't want it in my beer.
Rosemary may actually be good in a saison or something. But
in cocktails I've had, it was fantastic. So if you can do that, you can translate it.
But you should definitely get Katie on the show with Import because she has some wild ideas and it just all of her suggestions. We went back and forth, and then just thinking about the cost of certain fruit puree as well. There were I was dragon fruit, and Rob's
oh
no.
my god.
Well, and then then on
All right,
top
we're
of
going to
it-
produce 2 cases.
Right,
and,
exactly. And then on top of that, blackberry, we're like, we really want to do blackberry. Well, apparently there was an issue with the
The
crop
crops
this
being
year.
decimated this
So
no.
it's
Well, of
hard to
course.
get, and it's more expensive than usual. And we were like, of course it is, but we're going to run with it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, we went with blackberry and lime going into the beer. Greenport's yeast strain went into the beer. Not exactly sure which yeast it was. Pilsner and 2-row malt went in. And then Centennial, Cascade, Simcoe, and Idaho 7.
okay.
Which Idaho 7 is my favorite hop.
Ah.
I love
No, I
Idaho
didn't get
7.
to answer that either.
There you go, guys. John and who's over there? Billy, is that you? There you go. Sorry, I didn't.
Billy's over there.
Oh, Billy went over. Yeah. All right. So, Justin. No, sorry, I didn't have the thing up right
It's
away.
all good.
So you guys.
I answered, hey, asshole.
No, you guys. No one said Idaho 7.
my name too.
How was our feeling on Idaho 7 over there?
I actually haven't had the privilege of using Idaho 7 yet. I've heard really great things. I've had some really good beers that have had it here locally in Maryland, but I haven't had the privilege yet, so I really can't give an informed opinion.
Well, truthful indeed. But Idaho 7, I do like. It's one of those ones
Yeah.
that and El Dorado. I know they had a beer before
Eldorado's great.
that had El Dorado in there. That was one of the ones like Sculpin. Sculpin's
my
El
God.
Dorado was like they had it F.H. Riley's or something up in Huntington. I remember coming out of a show.
It's really hard to get your hands on some Idaho 7 down here, believe me.
What about
the
Idaho's
beer,
1
the
through 6?
Price per pound is exorbitant,
They were terrible.
or, you just can't find somebody that has it.
Yeah. And you guys do that? I mean, because I know a lot of the breweries around here, and you guys probably also have to do this at one point. Find out, who's supplying, who has extra stuff. Did you guys ever have to go to another brewery for stuff, for ingredients or things that you may not have?
So as cool as a lot of the breweries are around here, there's typically not a lot of crossover in terms of us borrowing materials from one another. Every now and again, it'll just be like a bag of sugar. Really, nothing all that serious.
Couple
But
eggs.
Yeah. Gotta get the bread and milk.
We source our hops from a place that's only about 45 minutes away from here. So they have a limited variety. It's a good variety for the beer that we do, but for those experimental hops or for those new hops hitting the market, we generally have to come up with a recipe in order to use them. So we just haven't had a chance yet. I would love to, though. I would absolutely love to use Idaho 7.
Well, maybe you can contact one of the breweries up here, because apparently they get it pretty easily.
Hey, I'm ready. Like I'll do it.
We'll ship it on down. So you guys, like I said, this is the third year of doing this cause. Well, is that what we're going to call it? We'll call it
Yeah.
a
it's
beer with a cause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a smile. What was the idea
Name's
behind
obviously
that?
little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
That was very tongue in cheek. You know what? As women, you hear it all the time. Especially me, I have chronic resting bitch
Same.
face. So
Yeah.
people are always like, "Why don't you smile? Why
You're
can't
so
you smile?
pretty when you
Just give
smile."
me a
You have a
smile."
Because you're an
Right.
asshole. I mean, that seems
Right,
like
but you can't say that
Why
in the
not?
service industry most
Ah,
of the
I
time,
guess
you
so.
know?
Behind the
So-
bar, if anyone said anything, like you didn't even ask her for a smile, you just said, "So how you doing?" You're like, "Fuck you, asshole." Would you feel at home?
I mean, I would.
Right, right.
It'd be like being in the house again.
So it was really kind of that idea and
Okay.
just kind of taking it back for ourselves. It's definitely tongue in cheek. We all know where it comes from. And it's funny because the only people that don't are random dudes that
Yeah.
are like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Of course you don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, no one's been telling you your
Speaks
whole
volumes.
life
Yeah.
to smile,
Yeah. I don't think I've ever told anyone to smile, especially in pictures.
It sounds
Don't smile.
creepy.
I'm a big fan. You ready to this? Of like those old school 1800s photos.
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm just-
Where, you don't
Yes, it's
smile.
very stoic.
yeah, like it. I've always
Drink
loved.
show over beer.
I've always loved that like demeanor of
Yeah.
this is how I normally look. I'm not smiling all the time. I'm not.
Right.
This is just unnatural, and I just like to.
And that's the point. Like,
Yeah.
we're not on show for other people.
Right.
We're
It's-
just here as human beings relating to other human beings, and that's it.
Tell
Yeah.
him,
When-
say
when I
something
knew,
funny,
like-
and I'll smile.
Right.
Be funny.
Which nobody can do
No.
that. So.
When I figured out my younger daughter was like my clone, because my older daughter's 100% my wife. She has that resting bitch face, like hardcore.
Right.
and I'm like, well, this one's mine.
You
Yes.
know the girl from The Ring?
Of course.
Yeah, that's his daughter.
That's my
Sarah.
daughter.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
totally get it.
Jet black hair, straight.
my God.
Just
If looks could
peering
kill.
through your peering through your soul.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I sort of trained and taught my girls to be like that. Like, you don't need to smile at people. Do
You
what
don't
you gotta
owe anyone
do.
anything.
Yeah, if you feel like it, fantastic. But
And you guys have the can art donated by Megan Rose Dowling
Yes.
from the Wild Rose Shop and
Yes,
Studio.
she was tuning in
She's
before.
amazing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the Wild Roses.
Yes,
That's right. Nice.
yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, Megan. I won't call you Rose. But I mean, great can art, beautiful. I got the logo on there and everything. How'd you guys? What's the reception here on Long Island?
so far, I think it's been fantastic. North Fork is already totally
we,
out, right?
We kicked we sold out of the cans, I want to say, the next day after we released it.
Wow.
And then we just kicked the keg on Saturday.
Nice.
So a week later.
Yeah.
And then we kicked our keg. We still have maybe a case or two of cans. And I'm sure that some of the other breweries still have theirs too. But, generally I think it's gone in like the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's
If only
gone.
every beer could sell that well.
I know, right? Seriously. And, we always do a little bit of distribution. So I just.
Oh, okay. That was going to be my next question. Where else can you get it if anywhere?
So as of right now, as far as I'm aware, I personally dropped off a case to Hopscotch. They take the beer every year.
Yep.
They're amazing. And then also over by Dave at Bellport, he always
Dave's
Cold
Cold
Beer.
Beer and Soda.
he always supports. Yes. So I know that those two places physically already have the beer, and then I believe Rob at West Babylon Superstore is taking a case
Yeah, he took some.
as
Yep.
well. And
Yeah,
then-
Rob was with us on one of the brew days.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Oh, he's always out
Oh,
there.
God damn it. He's always there.
I mean, he did work one night, right? He was behind the sticks at one point. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, so he's just kind of sleazy. You're here enough, dude. Just get behind the bar and start slinging some beers.
That's what you have
I know,
to do.
Rob
Earn your
Square.
keep.
There's
Earn
like
your
a
keep.
bromance going on there.
Oh yeah, there's heavy bromance going on.
He like I said, he invited us over to the opening of the Lindenhurst Superstore. That would be next Saturday, April 23rd or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's going to be a bunch of the local breweries doing tastings out of there, so it'd be fun to see. I was going to say something, but I forgot. Oh, a bunch of people on Instagram, really quick, shout them out. Kraus in the house. We got Elliott Bay Brewing Company's checking in. My wife, Lucy Watkins, Dom Vino, Anthony from Farmingdale's checking in.
Oh, Anthony from
Anthony
Farmingdale.
from Farmingdale. How are you?
How that guy is?
Yeah, Happy Hogan, Bex Robinson, Jeff Sadin. Oh, Sadin Distilling, apple brandy that we had on. It was so good. Yeah. You got a whole bunch. Wow, people chat. I can't keep up. Bright Future Designs, Kim Halter, Bubbalebo. I don't know. I can't read so fast.
That's my girl D.
Oh, D. All right, D in the house.
D.
What's up, D? So let's talk a little bit about what I know you're already planning for next year. Look
at it. She doesn't want to give it up. She's like, no.
What are the wheels spinning?
It's like on lockdown.
We will talk after the show.
No, but what is? Are we going to do an IPA again?
It's gotta be-
$5 says Anthony from
It's got
Farmingdale.
to be Anthony from
Call it.
Farmingdale.
He's calling it.
It's the Word with Mike Pete and Steve GovsRadio.com. Who's on the phone?
Hi, it's Anthony from Farmingdale.
Anthony from Farmingdale. How are you, sir? What's going on?
I'm doing great. I have to say, after listening to this show for the last 3 years,
Yeah.
it took you
5 years.
fucking 3 years to finally get 3 beautiful hotties in there.
Yes, we do have women, but we've had women before, so it's not the first time.
Always just reading the
It's our
temperature of
third
the
time on
room.
the
I was
show.
talking about-
It's our third time on the show.
Yeah, really. And we've had them on the Zoom. They were on the Zoom with us in the
Yes,
lockdown.
last year, yep.
I was talking about you, Pete and Steve.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Well done, sir. Touche, sir.
Quick shout out to Pete from the Wort with Mike and Pete and Steve as being the only person to show up to my little party in Farmingdale. Not you, Michael, and not you, Steve Pominski.
Well, Steve was dead with COVID.
I had
so he
I
had
had
an
died from
excuse.
COVID, so I really couldn't go.
Yeah, apparently I
You
had
didn't
ordered-
show up to my funeral.
we got the brewers. We got John and Billy and Justin down in 7Locks in Maryland, Rockville, Maryland. Do you have any questions for them, sir?
Yes, are you guys rooting for the Baltimore Orioles this year?
Are they there?
Sorry, I had a little trouble hearing.
Yeah, it is hard to see him. He said he was asked, "You guys are rooting. Are you Orioles fans?"
No, I am an Atlanta Braves fan.
Atlanta Braves fan.
Our
Okay.
taproom manager is a diehard Orioles fan.
Okay.
He wears the shirt all the time.
Yeah, how far is your brewery
We have at least some
Camden
rep.
Yards?
Yeah, how far is the brewery from Camden?
From Camden, it's about 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
not
All right,
far.
there you go.
Workable.
Oh, we're gonna go visit. We're going down there in a couple of months, so we'll go visit.
There you go.
Make sure you
Come on,
send me
come
that
on
name.
Yeah.
Who's in the studio with you, Michael?
In the studio tonight is the Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve, as you know. We have Michelle, we have Sheila, and we have Sarah from the Lady Brewsters. Those are the people we were just talking to a minute ago. You've been tuning in all night. I would assume that you should know this by now, but that's okay.
Oh, yes, I've been on all night since you first came on at 8 o'clock. I remember everything.
Yeah, in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Listen, I couldn't make the show, sir, because we had something going on, and I didn't have child care at the moment. So children first at this point.
Well, listen, you guys are doing a great job. It's great to see the ladies in there. And keep up the good work. The work with Mike and Pete and Steve. We're hashtag Pete's the talent.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Goodbye.
He's so defeated. He's like, all right, goodbye. I didn't perform
Anthony
as well.
from Bormondale.
Yeah, Anthony from Bormondale. Thanks, buddy, for calling in. I want to kind of, I want to squeeze what you guys are doing. I want to know. I got to know something. Give me something about what could be the idea for next
Is
year.
it a beer?
Well,
next year?
wait a second.
I
Are
would
you
think
going to
it would
work
be a
with
beer.
Sarah again for next year? Or do you already know that? Does she know that?
We don't know that. We haven't gotten to that point of the planning yet. It's kind of, I would love to. I mean, because it was really a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. Honestly, the way that the entire project kind of played out this year was so smooth, so nice. Everything seemed to just fall into place.
Yeah.
Not that there wasn't a lot of hard work, because there was. But everything just seemed to tie together so nicely.
I think also once we got the confirmation of the sponsorship, that's when we were like, okay,
We can
we
breathe.
we gotta move
Right. Now
really
we gotta-
quickly.
Or did you go, oh shit, now we actually got to do something?
Well, yeah,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
Because then again, it comes down to that timeline. Okay, now we have to get it on the schedule. Do we have enough time in between this and that? And when is the canning day? When is the release party? When are we releasing
There's
it?
so many logistics
Yeah.
to work through.
Yes.
Do you ever want to open your own, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been definitely a joke between me, Sheila, and Katie that we're gonna open up our own brewery someday.
I mean,
I would start
first-
nomadic. I would start nomadic because you guys have your networking connections
We
everywhere
do.
it is.
We know a lot of people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
make
we're
this like
great
a few,
networkers.
just a few, just a
few.
kind of a couple hooks here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we would just like jump in feet first.
I don't know.
but-
I think my retirement will be a
Yeah,
brewery.
Yes. And not for nothing, but the first women-owned and run and everything brewery on Long Island
yeah.
would be amazing.
How many are there in the country? Do you know of?
Oh, in the country.
I mean, there's Lady Justice Brewing in Colorado that is fully, I believe, female staffed and female run.
you have
There's
Talia,
yeah.
Talia.
I know that's female owned.
owned, operated. I think the whole.
Are they
thing.
brewing everything?
I
Yeah.
don't believe their whole brewery staff is though.
Right.
I thought they were.
Only because I don't see. I'm going to go by sheer Instagram. I don't see them. I see them marketing. They're
Yeah.
the faces of it.
True.
But I don't see them pouring grain in like you guys were. You guys were
I
up
mean,
on the
Bow
brew
and
decks.
Arrow, I think in Arizona is an indigenous owned and female owned.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think they were in the New Brewer like a few issues ago too on like the front page.
Oh, you still get publications, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm
The
serious.
new
It's
brewer is
amazing.
great.
Yeah, they just
How many just keep sending you stuff?
just keep sending
They have
me-
no idea you're shut down.
I think
no
I'm maybe in the next
It's
one.
like, hey, it's been 3 years and you're still sending me magazines. I love it. It keeps my finger on the pulse. you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I get like audio production magazines. I'm like, they have no idea I'm not doing anything in the field right now. Right now. I mean, not that. So, that's got to be something that's
Well, what I
a
usually
little
do
perk of having the brewery at one point.
in one of the magazines that comes in, it has the closings and openings, and I always look to see if Barrage opened. But it never opened.
Never reopened.
Never fucking
Never
reopened.
reopens.
Did they ever announce it?
To the
Yeah,
dismay
they did?
of a
Oh, yeah,
lot
it was
of
right in
people.
there.
Now, how did they go off of that? So let's talk about
Government.
Lady Brewsters. Did you have to register that as a label? Like what's
So it goes through the host brewery.
Right.
okay?
Wow.
So,
So we're a volunteer community organization, really. That we're not registered, but anyone
so it runs
who,
out like a collaboration,
right?
Yes,
Exactly.
And he lets you just kind of head the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Kind of like
so-
what I do.
Yeah. Kind of like a collab with the other stuff. Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. And it's nice because, well, I'm not going to say everyone, but there's always been interest from one of the breweries to take it over for the next year.
I'll put it this way.
Yeah,
Has
who's doing
anyone
it next
raised their hand for next year?
No, I don't think so yet.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think
Because I'm
so.
saying you
Because
said Rob
again-
was in last year, right at this
Yes,
time. So
but I mean, it's Rob, and you
Yeah.
know, like he has that.
He was just
enthusiasm
starting
to
out,
do it,
opening.
too.
So he's like, I'll
to-
do it all.
yes, Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that anybody's raised their hand for next year. And also, you have to keep in mind that you have to be able to brew a certain size batch
Yep.
and
Right.
can it and everything else.
well, what was the batch?
You can't
size?
go brew this at like Great South Bay or something because, or could you? I mean, size wise.
well, it's a
size-wise.
North Fork
Yeah, oh, right. Good point.
Brewing Collective. So I'm going to say no, we're not going to be brewing it there.
Maybe Steve will throw in some for Jamie, and you could do it at Pecanic.
Mechanic.
Pecanic.
You can't say that today, can you?
I don't know what it is about it. It's like a mental block today.
Pecaconic.
No, I didn't say it like that. I said Pecanic, like I'm
Pecanic.
from the Boston area.
Baston.
Yeah. Would you guys? Doesn't matter where you brew it, right? At this point, I mean,
I think
it's
it
whoever's
depends
volunteering.
on who has the capability of the batch size that we want.
Yeah. So what was the batch size?
how
on this
big-
one?
15 barrels.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Maybe down 7Locks.
And
They got a
honestly,
15. 15 bright.
I wouldn't mind scaling up a little bit, even.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it goes.
You sold.
like
I was gonna say you
that.
sold out of it pretty
It
quickly.
goes
Greenport,
so
if you're
fast.
listening.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a big one
Yeah.
because they got a huge facility at
Yeah.
this point, right? I mean that. But Kitty's just got to work her magic. She can do it.
I mean, also we've talked about potentially expanding to the entire East End as well.
Yeah.
Considering both North Fork and South Fork.
Well, now you got West Hampton out there, and you got what's the other one? Moriches.
Yep.
You got
Long Island Farm.
Long Island Farm. Yeah.
Montauk. What's the new one coming into Sag Harbor? Kid Squid.
Oh, Kid Squid in
yeah.
Sag Harbor. I mean, they're not open
I
yet,
haven't
but-
heard of this one yet. Some industry insider information here.
Yes.
Who is this?
Well, so I believe the current owner's name is Rory.
Okay. Oh, we got Springs too. I forgot about Springs.
Springs too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're contracting as well. So.
Well, yeah. So Kid Squid is contracting with someone that we might know.
Okay.
As of right now.
Long Island. I'm going with Long Island.
But I believe that they're looking to open very soon. So that's promising.
They're going to have a brick and mortar in
Yes.
Sag Harbor.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right.
Keith Hernandez will have somewhere to drink now.
Hey,
That's where he's from.
You just leave him alone.
Well, the mustache has got to have some froth on it.
Love that
Got some
man.
full
Love
on
that
there.
man.
He is.
Number 17. Keith Hernandez.
He's getting his number retired.
Yes, he is.
Anyone have an update on the score tonight?
They got canceled.
Rained out?
It was rained
Oh,
out.
balls. So did the Yankee game, too.
They did it early.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee when we leave here, we're going to run into what amounts to a tsunami.
I know.
I
did
heard.
Hear that.
It'll be
Yeah.
a rough drive home.
Speaking of
okay.
Kid Squid, I don't know what this beer is, but this Beaver Moon, like I don't care what that
They
beer
have
is. I want
really
it.
interesting, cool
And you got, like
branding.
hornets on the background? What is that?
I don't
No,
know.
it's like a repeating pattern.
Of
So
a squid,
actually,
yeah.
one of our brewers was a part of.
The guy from Shelter Island?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought I saw something like that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm connecting
Oh,
dots.
didn't they? He did a moon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
connecting
yeah,
dots.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
Beaver
But
Moon.
you know, things
It's
always
not the same guy,
change.
though.
I mean,
he's
this
kind
like
of
semi-rabid, very angry beaver
and
coming
you know
out of
what?
the moon.
semi-rabid.
Yes.
Like that's again. I don't care what it is. I want to drink that.
Right. Right.
John, Justin, and Billy, you guys have rabid beavers down there?
They're like, what?
No.
That's the appropriate.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't want to touch that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Well, I mean, we've had some crazy turkey issues out here on Long Island lately. The turkey population is absolutely exploding up on the North Shore.
Time for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, no, in time for like Easter. You don't want a rabbit. You don't want roast. You can have a turkey. It's just a phenomenal what you see out there.
Eat those
See,
ones,
where Billy and I come from, we really like our guns, so there's really not a turkey problem.
That tracks. That tracks.
The further out east you go here on Long Island, the more that is.
Yeah, that's a thing out
living
east
in
too.
Harlem, when I was living in Harlem, there were turkeys running around in the back alley for a couple months.
God.
I
Get
don't know
outta
how the
here.
hell that happened.
In fucking
But there were
Harlem?
absolutely
They
Harlem
have,
turkeys.
legit wildlife in the city.
They had
you have foxes,
Coyotes now?
Coyotes. Yeah, you'll be in
There's
the middle
some
of
stuff
the
going on.
Brooklyn, and there's
Raccoons.
a coyote. You're like, wow.
Simply 2 years of COVID lockdowns meant that the
Right.
wildlife immediately starts
Do
taking
this
back
more
over.
often.
Yes, right,
Here's a funny
exactly.
story.
There's sharks on the shore. There's dolphins and whales, and now all of a sudden
Yeah.
coyotes and foxes and turkeys running wild. Crazy.
I think the sharks and the whales have always been there, but
Yeah, we just don't see them as much.
Really? You had to go there, huh?
Gentlemen, I want to give you an opportunity to kind of give. I know we talked a little bit about what the future holds, but give me a little breakdown of exactly what's on the schedule for the upcoming weeks, and follow it up by talking a little bit about the contacts and ways people can get in touch with you, and tell us a little bit about the brewery and the hours and everything else.
For us?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I did use the word gentleman, and I can see how you can get confused.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's obvious. I can tell you as far as tap room goes, tap room is open Tuesday through Sunday. Monday's the only day that we shut down, which is largely a huge cleaning and housekeeping day for the production staff back
Yeah,
here.
it's also
but-
like a brewer's night, right? Monday's like the brewer's night where you get to go out
Yeah.
and you get to do stuff. I notice that a little
I
more
mean,
and more.
honestly, nobody would ever walk in here on a Monday anyway. It's just not a day that people go out. So Tuesday through Sunday, we have trivia every Thursday night. We have live music every Saturday night. John hosts a open mic night the first Wednesday of every month, and it's usually extremely exciting and bizarre and a lot of fun.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's a good bizarre,
Yeah.
bizarre. Like it's like all over the map. It's fantastic.
Depends on which slam poet shows up.
Yes, there are
Awesome.
exciting slam poetry.
Like it.
Slam
And
poetry.
we are actually starting this summer on Sundays or Saturdays. We have to look at our schedule, but we're also doing a Brew with 7Locks Day, where you can come in and homebrew
fun.
with John and Billy and myself.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. We come in.
I imagine those slots
the
will fill up pretty
idea is that
fast.
People will come in and drink some beer and bring their own recipes. Maybe we can help them. Maybe they, figure out something on their own, and it's just a fun afternoon for everybody to come drink and hang out.
Until you have to yell at somebody for putting like currants in the beer. Don't you put those currants in there?
Yeah.
People are going to do what they're going to do.
It's their beer. It's not a. Do you guys end up putting that on tap? Do you
we're
guys?
all over like Instagram and everything else. You
Do
can
you-
find us on all the regular spots. 7Locks Brewing, the number 7, not the word. So
Do you guys let them distribute that themselves? They take that away for themselves, or do you guys have it in the tap room? What's the end result of the Brew with the Brewers Day?
oh, that's he wants to know what the end result of the Brewers Day is going to be.
Oh, have we thought through that far?
like
So
that.
eventually, the big idea is we want to see if we can get people out here during the weekend, and maybe if we could turn it into a small homebrew competition where we're kind of batting around two ideas. The first one being you bring your recipe, we bring our recipe, and see who can make it better.
Oh, so like beat
Do like a beat
Bobby
Bobby
Flay
Flay kind of thing.
I like
That's
that.
pretty fucking cool.
Kind of thing. Or
Right.
what we'd also like to do is, if it is good enough, we will reward that person with some type of payout, and we'll make that recipe once.
Cool.
That's cool.
That is very cool.
That's
yeah,
like a dream.
That's like
for a
LIBME.
homebrewer.
Yeah.
My goal for the whole
Yep.
thing, we've had some preliminary conversations, is to partner with a local community college to try and get more women and people from the POC community to come out and get interested in brewing as well, so we can sort of change the face of brewing from this to.
That's amazing.
That's good too, yeah.
We
Kudos
started
to
with
you
some
guys.
influencers that we've met here and there to like try and start making sure that those voices are incorporated into that sort of thing as well.
I love
Very
that.
good.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
And you guys obviously on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. 7Locks Brewing.
Yep.
Yep,
That's
indeed.
us.
Yeah, you can find us on all those places. Seven, the number.
Before we wrap up,
And
I
that's
do want
this guy that doesn't.
Yeah, there you go. I want to just say goodbye to Instagram because I got to play music for the end of the show. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and on our YouTube page. Later in the time, we'll have our podcast version up probably tomorrow and all of your favorite podcast platforms. And then on YouTube, live video coming soon this week. Goodbye, Instagram. And so what I want to ask you guys as we start to wrap up here, ladies, when you guys have, for your own, I guess, breweries that you guys represent, Sarah, with your what do I call it? But no, it's more organization. I was going to say a fundraiser, but it's not. It's more of an organization. You guys, obviously, as they said, kind of representing more of the women in the industry. Do you guys take a prominent role in trying to just make sure your voices are heard? I mean, is it something where you're forcefully putting it out there? Do you need to forcefully put it out there at this point?
I think that in certain circumstances you do. A lot of times you have to fight to be included at any table as a woman, and that's across a million different industries. I previously was an IT admin, and I was...
You did IT work?
I did.
That's bananas.
That's why I have resting bitch face.
I don't peg you as IT, like
oh, yeah.
networking and get out of here. That's awesome.
Corporate training on all software.
Well, maybe you can help me out with some of this bullshit that they fucking they wired up here, because it's really terrible over here. I didn't do it. Verizon did it. Maybe we're going to take a look.
But I mean, my point is that you get used to being the only female in the room, and a lot of industries are still run by older men. They have one idea, they want to run with it, and they don't want to deviate from it. So, we are, as women, always trying to find our way into that without being aggressive, unless we have to be. Sometimes you have to be.
Got to put a foot in an ass sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you do, exactly. And it's taken differently from women than it is from men.
Take a moment, talk about Long Island. What's going on?
Well, we just celebrated our 13th anniversary.
13 years.
Yes, yep.
Jesus.
So that's fantastic.
13 years, 13 beers?
God, I hope not. That was a lot. That was a big undertaking.
Most importantly, when is King Celtic coming back?
I don't know.
Please tell us.
When we get a beer maker, then we...
I knew it was coming. Oh, here it is. I was just about to say.
Goddamn bodice.
You mentioned
Waiting for it in the mail.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Beer
see-
maker,
guys know
if
how
you're
it works.
listening.
As soon as we get our little adapters, then maybe we'll get you into a rotation. You want to order a kit using promo code The Wort. Get order a kit, we'll run it out there. I'll let you brew beer.
Other than that, we have a really fantastic brewer right now. I'm very excited that he's there because he pushes us from what we have done successfully, and he pushes us into things that we may have never worked on before.
Yeah. Case in point, the Blue Point Cast Fest, right? I mean, you guys came up with something a little different.
Yes.
And something that was a hit. You guys did very well.
Yeah, honestly, I can't even remember exactly what we brought there. So many festivals. I know we had like Grandma's Purse Candy or something. It was like a caramel something or other.
Worth is original.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yes, exactly. But we have like some new sours that we're looking to work on coming down the line.
Nice.
King Celtic.
Yeah.
And you never know, King Celtic.
Billy be interested. We'll send one out to Billy.
Okay. Yes. But yeah, it's nice weather.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to throwing the beer garden open.
Yep. Take the tent down.
Partying. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
COVID is relatively over at this point. I think we're finally starting to flow back into it with little rumblings in the background, but now people can start to feel a little more comfortable coming
People
out.
are still dying from it.
Right, yes. Yeah, I know,
like I
Steve.
did a couple
Steve,
weeks
you're
ago.
right. The ghost of Steve Hominski is here tonight, folks.
Right.
Michelle, so you've kind of been all over, we'll say that.
Yeah.
North Fork's still doing their thing.
So I still am part-time at North Fork. I stepped down as manager February, March, and then I just finished my production internship with Sloop Brewing on Thursday.
Which is, how is that facility?
It's insane and huge, and I learned so much in 3 months.
In a large, like
30 barrel system,
yeah.
Humongous.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I said to one of the brewers, the head brewer on Thursday, I'm like, at North Fork, it was like, oh my God, a triple brew day takes forever. I'm like, literally, we just did 3 batches in one shift. Like, it's just, there's always something in all of the tanks.
Yeah. Well, they have to. They're
Yeah.
distributing up and down the East Coast at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all across the country at this point, but I know almost in every state on the East Coast. But yeah, finished that up on Thursday, and that was probably Thursday was the scariest one because they're like, "You're gonna run the brew day." It's like, what?
Damn it!
They're like, "We're gonna be right here," but
Was that your final exam?
yeah, I mean, like obviously I still need it. They're like, "Wrong valve, wrong valve," and I was like, "Okay, as long as I don't fuck up the beer."
You got a little tri-clamp in your back pocket. You're like,
Right.
you need this.
No, it was definitely an awesome experience. They have a diversity and inclusion committee making sure that people from marginalized groups, women, people of color, the LGBTQ community are getting into the industry and not feeling like they're limited.
Right.
And everyone from Sloop was just phenomenal to work with. I had a few weeks in the packaging department, in the cellar, in the brew house, and their lab. So like
learned so. I mean, just observing and watching is just
everything. It was just crazy. I mean, I have so much information that I don't even know where it went.
your RAM is full at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Ian is a scientist in of itself. We've always said that. I mean, for what you had there, probably bringing a little more information in than normal. People would come in and say, "Oh, yeah, you kind of probably understood a little more of what's going on."
I did not have a full understanding of what went into testing the beer, just in, DO levels in cans, the yeast viability, cell counts, just even testing as the beer's fermenting, all the readings that you do. I just had no understanding of it until I worked at Sloop.
Yeah. What's the end goal here? Were you looking to kind of move up in the industry, or?
So it's kind of up in the open at the moment. I did interview at a brewery in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Which
that
one?
will not.
Which one? We want all the answers.
I mean, it's not finalized.
Is it a prominent brewery in like North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay.
Resident Culture in Charlotte.
There you go. Resident Culture. Yeah.
They're phenomenal. They're just amazing people over there. I visited there last year, but we'll see. It's up in the up in the air. They're finishing out their second production facility at the end of the year, so that's up in the air.
That's
but
cool.
I'm trying to put feelers out there and ultimately work for a brewery that offers 401k and benefits.
The long term.
Yeah.
Welcome to adulthood.
Right.
Yeah.
Sarah, something for the organization. What's the ongoing processes? What are you guys working on right now?
Yeah, so the retreat serves all of, Suffolk County. They kind of do more direct service work. They have their shelter. Well, we have our shelter on Long Island that serves families of domestic violence who are survivors. My work is a little different. I'm with the retreat, but I am Long Island Safer Bars. I run that. So right now, we're continuing in Patchogue. They're doing really great work over there. We just trained Blue Point Brewery. They were phenomenal.
Nice.
They've been really supportive. We did like an International Women's Day event that Sheila came by to, which was really cool. And really it's, just furthering these community partnerships. I'm, running Long Island Safer Bars, but really it's the communities that are driving the work. So folks like Michelle and Sheila who see this and say, hey, this looks great, let's partner together. I come with, some things that we want to do as an initiative to, kind of really organize healthier, safer communities in nightlife, brewing industries, wherever. But it's really my community members that I'm working with, the partnerships that take it to the next level. So really just continuing that work, guiding that. The East End, I'm like super excited to get out there. It's really awesome. And then looking at Nassau too, that's like our next area, Farmingdale. We were kind of rolling out some stuff and then COVID just really screwed up everything. So it's really getting those relationships back on track.
Yeah, and just tying the communities together.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just getting stronger communities going.
I would love to see like more of a Long Island wide collaborative for this work. Conversations and training like Sloop Brewing's doing with diversity, equity, inclusion, bringing more women to the table, BIPOC, LGBTQ, like that's the work that we've been pushing along, trying to get extra funding with like we were able to do with Lady Brewsters. If we can continue that and get more folks, having these conversations, women and men. I mean, men as allies is like one of the biggest protective factors for all this stuff. So if we can bring all those people to the table and just kind of continue these conversations.
And the goal is to just get good beer out there, right? I mean, in the end, that's what we want, and anyone
good
can
beer,
do it.
Good people. Yeah.
Good people. Maybe we should call it "Don't Be a Dick." How about that? Just don't be a dick.
Does
That's
that
easy.
exist?
Yeah, well, it depends.
They're out there.
They are. It depends how many people you come in contact with, because the odds are you're going to find one or two in the batch for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite sign hanging in Mustache when they were open. The Don't Be a Dick sign,
It was like crocheted, right?
Yeah. Lori crocheted it, yeah.
Right.
She's awesome.
Gentlemen, we're about to get out of here. Really appreciate you guys coming on the show. Definitely great beer, the Rye IPA, the IPA that we had, the New England. Thank you very much for spending time with us tonight. Had a lot of fun with you.
Thank you very much for having us.
We'll send you down a little Wort care package for being on the show. And like I said, the podcast will be out there in podcast form on every platform known to man. We're now on iHeart. We're on Amazon. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. And then we're also now always on the Hopped Up Network. So check them out as well. Podcasts from all over Long Island, all over the country, and all over the world. Really appreciate you guys for being on. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very kindly. And like I said, we've got your information. We'll send along some bitch monkey for your wife.
Yeah. Bitch monkey. I'm going to hand it to her and go, they named a beer after you. And then I will be sleeping on the couch for 3 days. I'll get in a lot of trouble for that, for sure. Ladies, thank you very much for being in. Really appreciate the time you guys spent with us. And good job as always.
Thank
you.
Thank
you guys did a great job. This is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com. Thanks a lot for everyone on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook for joining in today. Like I said, we will be on the podcast form and, of course, on our YouTube page in full video format come this week sometime. And, Steve, what do you got for us today?
I would say... call Long Island and tell them to make fucking King Celtic.
Tomorrow. Put it on the schedule
right
Gregory.
away.
All right.
Gregory, make it happen. Peter?
Taken.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm glad you're not dead.
Thank you.
This is The Word with Mike, Pete, and Steve, GovsRadio.com, and we out.
Well, that's 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back.
Are you kidding me?
Please hang up and try again.
This has been The Wort on Govs Radio. I hope you're drunk enough.